Snow fell cold on a bitter night. John was gone for the morning light. They blame Karen, but it don't sit right. Too many secrets hid from sight. Oh, the badge runs deep, the law runs thin. They stack the deck, but truth won't bend. The judge looks away, the truth gets drowned. Ain't no justice in Canton Town. Proctor's story shifts and sways. Cameras vanish, records fade. The Alberts toast while the doubts grow strong. The folks still fight, won't be long. Oh, the badge runs deep, the law runs thin. They stack the deck, but truth won't bend. The judge looks away, the truth gets drowned. Ain't no justice in Canton Town. Proctor's story shifts and sways. Cameras vanish, records fade. The Alberts toast while the doubts grow strong. The folks still fight, won't be long. Oh, the badge runs deep, the law runs thin. They stack the deck, but truth won't bend. The judge looks away, the truth gets drowned. Ain't no justice in Canton Town.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whoever you are, what if any you might be, and welcome to not only my show, but to the Mo Show and the Val Show. Love to have you along for what will be the most interesting 10 minutes of streaming that we'll probably have to do because
somebody's late.
No, well, Jamie's late, but
Jamie.
Well,
Whatever.
is that lady with the this face gonna be there? I just want to send her a sandwich, like a big fluffer nutter sandwich. I just feel bad for her. Like Sally Struthers is going to come out and like for 13 cents a day, you can help a neurotic, chick from Massachusetts eat a sandwich.
Are you talking
allegedly
about
in Minecraft? Don't come after me.
Are you talking about the defense
Jen
lawyer?
McCabe?
Yeah, Jennifer McCabe. House Long to Die in Cold.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Ed's daughter.
Yeah, I feel like I need to do a telethon for her or something. Like, here's a carb. Like, send her some peeps or something.
Denmark thanks you because Novo Nordic has made a lot of money of all of that weight loss drugs. So she looks like she had a little bit too much, but still. The one thing that's wrong with that weight loss drug is you can't target the area. So when they lose all the chin fat and they just look like they went to a German camp where you really learned how to concentrate, it's not a good look.
Well, but then they also hollow out right here with like all this contour stuff. Y'all, I just learned how to contour. The tutorial was an hour flippin' flapjack long. Like, who the hell has an hour to spackle, primer, rebar their face?
Well, I don't do it. But today will be Motions Day, probably the final day of motions. What motions do we have on the table? Who knows? We have motions about visual aids. No, aid. Not the other one.
Yeah, she was finicky about demonstratives last time. Bev was all But
she was
her
panicky
about
about
that.
propagated over
everything.
that. She didn't like that, and I could see her today rule. Yeah, the state must can use them, but the defense can't, because it wouldn't be the first thing where she ruled directly opposite of each other. There's also Mr. Wickus, something, the guy who's there to explain the Val files. He has 44 pages in his PowerPoint presentation. Anyone who makes a 44-page PowerPoint presentation better be teaching a full year in college. No one needs 44 pages of PowerPoint, because if you need 44 pages of PowerPoint, you should be taking that class again.
Well, here's the thing about experts. You can be an expert, you can be very smart in everything, but if you can't effectively communicate in layman's terms that aren't condescending, clearly what you're talking about, then you are not a good expert. There were what I looked at notes like 3 or 4 experts about the stupid damn cell phone, and I still don't understand where the hell the magic Harry Potter, this stupid crap went. I've looked like C-lists and crapola and crap spackle stuff. I don't know. But if 4 experts couldn't teach me anything and I'm still confused, then they are not experts.
That's why
They may
I
be smart
said,
in their field, but they're not experts.
that's why I said I had a big problem with the green guy for the state for Karen Reed in the first case. He couldn't explain the phone data. I didn't understand one word about the phone data from either side. But if you're called in and every other expert you have from this Commonwealth is great, they really should. They should have gotten someone better. They have one this time, I think, but he shouldn't have been. He shouldn't have been that phone guy, because that phone stuff, it flew right over my head, right over the jury's head, and that's what ruined the third-party culprit defense, because no one understood anything about what, if any, was at what point in what, and GPS, and there was an alien in the back room, and ET was trying to phone home at the same time. No one understood any of it. And if you're that bad of an expert, we had Ruby on to talk about the head injuries, because she knows a little bit about that stuff. And she explained it to us that, oh, this is when the brain squabbles around inside the casket it's resting in, and that means that's why you see it do this. Oh, interesting. Sure.
It was so understandable. Like,
thank you, Louise.
I mean, it's the same thing in the Linda Sturmer case I just finished. You know, the defense brought in an expert who had a wealth of knowledge, but every answer was a long story about how he used to work in Detroit during the riots. So he couldn't effectively communicate what they were trying to get across. Not that I think it would have helped her, but still, they, got this expert who couldn't communicate to the jury anything.
No, and this is a big problem with experts, because being an expert on court TV, like one of my greatest friends, Plevin, for instance, or being a paid to have opinions expert based on prior experience, like Kathy Daffy, you need to be able to communicate to the stupidest guy in the room, which will always be me. I don't take much knowledge from a certain group of Germans who they were a ragtag bunch of guys who run around in the 30s. It got rowdy, let's say it that way.
We got Hugo Boss, though. I mean,
they got
and
Hugo Boss,
Volkswagen.
but they had this guy.
Did she say we got Hugo Boss?
We took all the scientists. We got the rockets.
The rockets, the Volkswagen, and the Hugo Boss. No, but they had a propaganda minister who said the right thing. Always talk to the dumbest person in the room, because then the smartest person will understand you. The problem with a lot of experts are, I'm going to talk to someone who is on my level. Juries are made up of people who, some of them can't tie their shoes, even if it's Velcro. Thank you, John Day, for becoming a member.
I'm offended.
I mean,
Well,
a
have
jury
slip-ons like
made
me.
me the foreperson. I mean, and I had pink and purple hair. So, juries.
Wasn't there
vote
an
for you
expert
too,
that
Mo.
communicated directly with a crime scene? No, it was a
Trooper Paul.
misstatement of Trooper Paul's
Trooper
because
Paul.
he just said they told me, and every one of us made fun of him saying, "Oh, the crime scene." No, he never went to the crime scene because someone else told him what happened at the crime scene, so he didn't need to go there. It's not like you need to investigate. That's a
What's
weird
that?
word.
What's that?
No one told
Why?
him there was going to be evidence there. I mean, how was he to know? The group chat was all about balloon knots.
We saw
They didn't tell-
pictures. It was fine.
Did you see that picture I made with my superior skills today in? I put it on X, but I am, as you know, I am a digital expert.
Whiz?
Ooh.
Well,
I would call it
I
whiz.
don't like to toot my own horn, but no one else want to do it, so I do have to do it. And now I can't find where I saved that stupid picture.
It's because you're a digital whiz.
I know I'm
It's
trying
because
to
it's
work
Whiz.
X right now, and I'm like, I don't know where to find this thing.
I shouldn't be talking. I downloaded a song
Oh, it
for
was,
StreamYard the other day. It was gone. I couldn't find it anywhere. Still don't know where it's at.
Oh no, I got it even better. I got a gigabyte or whatever external hard drive. It's still in the box because I'm afraid to open it until Mr. Mo shows me how to use it. Because I'm like, this is going to be bad. This man wants me to go to computer class.
What I
I
was
can't be
be
responsible
beneficial.
for the eventual death from, alcohol liver cirrhosis that this computer person is going to get if they try to teach me anything.
Go to one of those senior computer classes. They offer.
I need to.
For
I'm in there with your Aunt Edith trying to figure out
See
her
if it's any
jitterbug.
good. Yeah.
But what I was trying to do, because I was rewatching some of the statements, I kind of measured out how long a Jeep is. This is 4.8 meters. Is roughly the size of a normal Jeep. You can compare it to that car up here. It's kind of the same size. When the Nagel car arrived, they said we stopped right behind Karen Reed and she moved up. And they said they stopped outside of the driveway. Why would you say you stopped behind Karen Reed's car if Brian Higgins' Jeep is placed right here at the red square? The testimony was she was here and then she moved up somewhere around here and then moved down here to the purple square. And John is in somewhere in this yellow area. We don't know because there's no establishing photos. This car is less than 20 meters away, which is in American 2.5 bologna sandwiches. But the instant he put on his headlights, where would that light shine?
Right.
Into the Jeep.
I guess
Right at the dead body.
I've always been confused why he was over there. If he was intending to go into the house, that him being so far away from the house never made sense to me.
No. And Karen Reed's first statement, first she forgot she was there, but she said, I stopped by the mailbox. He went up and he walked to the front door. And people said, this is the front door over here. But most people who live in houses like this, I think I always walk in through my garden door because that's closest to my parking spot. So him going into the side door up here and she calling it the front door wouldn't be a big problem for me. You have the Nagel kid saying when we stopped, she moved up, and Jen McCabe said she moved up again to this area. Why would she, first of all, sit here with John in the car and talk about, well, tomorrow is going to be weather. Then move up, waiting for this car or giving this car place some room to maneuver. I can understand why she would do that, just to be nice. If they needed to park there, someone coming up behind her, she could have that thinking, oh, they're going into the house too, so I'm going to give them some room to park on the street. They pass her and say, there's no one else in the car. She has an interior light on, hands at 10 and 2. If she was waiting for John to come back out because he said, I'm just going to go in, I'm going to grab a beer, I'm going to tell them you're not feeling well, we're going to say, have a great night, and I'll be right back. And she was doing the thing women always do, saying, don't stay in there all night. No, I'm going to be right out, honey. And then 3 days later, we wake up in a Tijuana prison and think, damn, I'm going to be in trouble. But there's no way you would ever describe this as, I parked behind Karen Reed's car and she moved up if there's a Jeep right here. No way.
Well, that, and how is her line of sight clear if there's a Jeep? It's not possible. She
claimed she looked out of the window right next to the front door and she saw the car out on the street. Why would you look over here? That's not.
And I guess my other question is, there was drinking with all parties in this case. There was copious drinking. We have highlighted Karen's drinking, but no one else's. And, that should definitely impeach some testimonies because, you were intoxicated. I mean, if we do the drink counts for other people in this party, are we going to end up with something that, is fairly large too? And is that something that the defense is going to bring up? Because I understand the third party thing, but I think that impeaching a lot of the testimony is going to be a good step too. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer.
That was one thing that's absolutely bothered me about this whole thing. Why has Higgins not been charged with like a DUI at the very least? He admitted to having at least like 6 whiskeys, I think it was. He had 4 at the one bar and then 2 at the other or something. And admitted to not only driving his car, but then driving his patrol vehicle to move it.
Yeah, his government
How has he
vehicle.
still got a job? How has he not been charged with a DUI? It doesn't make sense to me.
How have none of them been charged with DUIs?
Brendan, thank you. I don't know why Val would at all be worried about losing monetization.
Oh, hell no. We aren't losing the goat.
Brendan has become real fond of the word meat bat right now.
Meat bat? All right. That a boy.
Yeah.
I'm stealing that. That's fun.
That's good. It's like a pepperoni,
Well, see, I'm thinking of making greeting cards for men that men would actually appreciate. Instead of like the long, like flowery thing that you have to read and like Hallmark it up, it'll be just like a picture of something cool for guys, and inside it'll say, "Babe, I love you, and I married you for your meat bat."
So they're all going to just have boobs on them?
Yeah, pretty much boobs, and I married you for your peen.
Nice. I like it. I approve. I think this is a great idea. Yeah.
I know, because then you don't have to like guess like, oh crap, it's a long poem. $7 damn for a flippin' Hallmark card,
I don't know which of your channels Jason is supporting.
Oh, thank you, Jason. I will put that in the swear jar.
Higgins won't be charged because blue backs blue. Yeah. And this case is all about the blue backing the blue.
I've been rewatching the entire trial on my own. I'm on day 19. So we just got done with all like the incestuous witnesses, and we're moving on to like the ER doctor and Lieutenant O'Hara.
You picked a terrible thing for Lent, but God bless you. Jesus loves you.
Yeah,
I somebody does after all this. It's painful. It's really painful.
Common tactic for law enforcement in this area when drinking is to have 1-2 at a bar, then go to another bar and repeat how many times they want. Never seen drinking more than 1-2 anywhere. Yeah, that's pretty smart doing it that way. But I would shift the tactic totally this time. I wouldn't waste so much time asking all these questions of the people who were in the house. Big Bri, maybe get some beauty tips because he looks like a man who grooms himself regularly and hang out with girls more than he plays ball. Put into that what you want.
Little Bry?
I don't.
The big
I don't
Bry.
want to. I don't want to talk about what happened at his pre-game. I just want to know. Okay, did you ever see John O'Keefe at the house? No. Well, someone said he entered the house. Yeah. Well, I didn't see him. Okay. Coco, you're a neurotic weirdo. You claimed you were cleaning the house and playing Weathermen. It's raining men.
With the umbrella.
Yeah.
It's raining, man.
Are you really that weird? I don't want to go and say at the bar, then what the ho and eat the. I don't need to know what happened. I just want them to confirm at the waterfall they didn't see anything between Karen and John that would lead them to believe they were having an argument. Get that out there, and let Brennan waste the jury's time by asking 40,000 questions about what if any snow, what if any road did you drive, what if any music did you play, what if any position did you have in the kitchen, and just go up there and just wave them off and say, this isn't important. The only important thing in this case is John O'Keefe wasn't hit by a car. That's where I would go.
Yeah. So just a quick question from a semi-dummy on this case. With the addition of a meteorologist, is that going to cut down the snow talk to 1 week
Supposed to.
or
Nope.
2
supposed
days?
to.
Oh, that's gonna up it because now he's gonna testify about the hardness of the ground, which he has no knowledge of.
There's no way you can do that.
Well, in
Is
Ben's
he-
courtroom you can. Thank you, Krista,
he
for
Trained as
first
a
positive as
geologist?
well.
Has he learned about permafrost? Has he done any sort of does he have an expertise? Has he written a paper on this particular study? Has he
It
done
doesn't sound
anything?
like
Are
he
there
does.
studies on this?
No,
Well,
because
we
he's
know
not
the
a
weathermen are never very accurate anyway, so that should be interesting.
he has no knowledge that would ever make him a witness in that subject, but
Good.
he's allowed to talk about it because it's common knowledge that when it's cold, the Earth is hard, which it's not, because it
No.
depends on
A
how
lot of
long
things.
has it been cold, what kind of perspiration has there been, what is the soil, is it
Whether or not
like
the heated basement has an effect on the ground itself, whether the plumbing lines have an effect on the ground hardness. Like there's
Yeah,
so many
sewer lines,
variables.
utility,
There's so many variables.
Clay makeup, sand makeup. Is it, a rocky sort of soil? I mean, there are so many different variables, and unless there have been comprehensive studies on this is really just subjective. This is absolutely guesswork. We might as well have Miss Cleo in.
Yeah,
Sammy
just like
spills the
Rubia
tea,
said,
yeah.
we all know people who have snow in their state or country. No, I've lived with snow. I understand that the ground does not freeze like cement ever.
No.
And Sammy spills the tea, says it was Coca in the kitchen with the umbrella. No, it was Coco. Why is she called Coco?
I don't know.
I
Nicole,
don't-
was it her name Nicole?
Her name is Nicole. That's not Coco.
Yeah, but I know a lot of Nicoles that people call Coco. I don't know why.
I've never heard of that. But then again, I
Yeah.
don't know a lot of Nicoles. I'm more of an Insidian. So I know a lot of like screen names, but I don't know real names.
And Rubia is right. It doesn't matter because it didn't cause his spinal herniation. Sorry, but
Yeah.
screaming here. Yeah, that's and again, all of this third-party culprit. Colin did it. Brian Higgins did it. It's fun for us because we have to waste hours of like now we are 15 minutes late. That will be every single day. So we will have to come up with new hits every day because we can't start the show every day saying, "So Val, you got a new goat? Only 10 more weeks to go." So we will sit here and say, "Yeah, that's funny how Brian Higgins, the way that, well, he was heated that day." But for the case, it has no bearing other than it's a possible other guy who could do it. But the jury didn't buy it in the first trial. So I would I would mention it. I will talk about the Bowden defense, saying the investigation left out a lot of possible suspects because it was so shitty. But in reality,
Yeah.
we have to go back and look on the facts. And why won't the state talk about the basic facts in this case? They can never prove John O'Keefe was hit by a car because there is no physical evidence pointing to that. I would keep it there entire way through. The rest of it is just to fill time.
Attack the investigation. Attack the investigation, because reasonable doubt is going to be there if you attack the investigation. You don't even have to really introduce a third party if you put out that the investigation really didn't investigate anything. Again, we had, what was it, Trooper Paul that said math and stuff, which would, again, be my expert opinion. But we didn't even have a reconstruction. And the exemplar that they did with her car was performed on pavement that was completely clear but wet. So it wasn't an exemplar. It was just a road test with conditions that were completely different.
That's true.
I don't know where Zach is.
Oh, he's over by me. Aren't Mrs. Mo's fingernails fantastic? I'll be honest, I hadn't noticed that she had fingernails.
So relaxing for me is not good. Like, I don't do it well. So I made myself yesterday not stream and go do something for me. And I'm sitting here and I'm trying to relax, but okay, there's a little bit of a language barrier, and I guess my fingers are all crookedy or something because she kept moving my hand. So I was all tense because I was trying not to make her job harder for her. So I'm trying not to like move or squiggle or nothing because, look, I am a chaos demon and a half. And apparently I was just in my own little bubble yesterday. So I didn't realize that it was cash only. So I only have my cards. So I leave a card there because I'm an honest person, and I haul ass to the ATM, looking for cops the entire way because I'm like, they're going to arrest me. I'm over here. I ran out, didn't pay. So I gave her a big tip. And then I went to Arby's and tried to drive off without my food. Swear to goodness, my body does not deal with relaxation. Mr. Mo was like, what did you do? You're exhausted. I was like, I tried to relax.
Oh, that's
yes,
terrible.
I have cleavage. It's Mr. Mo approved because I did ask. I made him look in the camera to see.
It's also Valhalla approved, just so we're clear.
Just to see how it looked, because there's a difference between feeling a little smexy and disrespecting my husband. And I wanted to, and he's like, oh yeah, those are nice. And I was like, you're my husband. Is this okay? He was like, why are you asking me? I'm like, because we're married and I respect you sometimes. Like, not when I buy things that I'm not supposed to, but
Nick. Weather guy's wife measures his hardness and said, soft is hard too, and grabbed a shoehorn. Thanks for that, buddy. Thanks for that.
No, Riz can't be Swacia because Riz is what the young people say. Swacia is for experienced veterans of the rock game. No, it's not Swacia. You need to have had at least 30 years of rock consumption before you can get Swacia. I love Arby's. I never had Arby's.
It's got its moments.
Arby's is great.
It's got its moments.
It's beef-ish. Like, I don't know what they do to the beef because it doesn't. That's why I never liked lunch meat. Now, Arby's, it can hide in a bun and I don't see it, but like the lunch meat that's a square and no animal's a square, it just always creeped me out. Look, I was a weird kid.
Do we think Brennan, the special protector, will curtail his asinine approach, which seemed to have alienated quite a lot of people to date? I don't think so. Because there's this weirdo, Smedero, whatever he calls himself on Twit, who said 5 reasons Karen Reed will be found guilty. Bedero is the new prosecutor. Well, protector, but still. I think he forgets one thing. Brennan is only loved by one side, and it's the side who would love a shoebox as long as it's written on it, Karen Reed is guilty.
Facts.
No one thinks, I think, who has a working mind, and I don't see any of. Well, I seen one commentator saying that they thought Brennan was doing a great job, and he's a great lawyer. I think he comes off as a douche canoe, and I don't think you need to come off as a douche canoe in front of the jury.
I completely agree. For the record, he does come off as a douche canoe.
I think he needs to go see a doctor.
Well, Arby sauce is amazing. It's a Lenten miracle.
Higgins just said is you'll be dripping with so much ritz, the ladies will be soaked when you walk by. They will be moist without even checking out your drip. You're such a young kid, Brandon. Haven't seen him going in blind, so I can judge new case as new case. So fitty on him. Yeah, you'll have to. I call him Weasel Face.
Same.
I often was a douche canoe. Yeah, but a douche canoe defense lawyer is actually sometimes a really good choice to be. But a douche canoe prosector will most of the time get people to think, what the F is going on? We saw it in Zachariah Anderson's case. We saw it in Rittenhouse. We saw it in that was actually the defense attorney. I was thinking about the one you covered with the bike guy. But
Theodore Edgecombe.
yeah, but when the state are a-holes, they have all the power. They have the case. And if they are standing there treating people, and the way he's questioning the experts, like when he threw that book in front of Dr. Russell, that's because I thought, well, maybe he'll bring something new, something Lally didn't have, which was a working theory and a mind. But then he chucked that book and said, have you ever studied this book, which is actually it's kind of the book? No, it's a weirdo who's a veterinarian who wrote a book about how not to get bitten by dogs.
Well, the thing is optically, if you think about it, the arrogance of the state can trigger some kind of, it's just not a good look. And for the defense, I do believe in having some arrogance, some cockiness, but I think you need to match energies. We saw that in the Linda Sturmer case. The defense just wasn't asked to everyone, even nice, just lay witnesses. He, had a condescending, snarky tone. And, he could pull that out when he was questioning experts that obviously had some flaws. But had he been much more gentle and, really focused, that sort of a-hole energy, it would have had much more impact because it would have been different. They would have noticed, hey, he's going after this guy. Why is he going after it? But if you're an a-hole the entire time, it doesn't make an impact because you're just an a-hole.
Yeah. And Dave says for 12 months here to Baker and Jay. Yeah. Jay is after a certain someone we knew. She had to infiltrate an undercover Russian gambling den. She couldn't use her first name, and that's why we don't see her on screen as much anymore, because there might be a Stanislaw out there looking for her after she unraveled that underground gambling den. I'm not saying that she unraveled millions worth of illegal gambling, but she did.
Okay, the real story is, that picture of Putin shirtless on a polar bear? Jamie did that. She's in hiding. The KGB. It's scary.
I knew Jamie was Spetsnaz. I knew it from the beginning.
She's borrowing some of my wigs right now.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marissa, for 16 months. And Dave, thank you for $5. I would like to bow a vowel. We don't sell them here. I'm dyslexic, so I don't know what's a vowel and a consonant.
Yeah, and you would put the little O with the 2 dots in. Is that a vowel?
I'm
over
not
there?
German.
Oh, fine. Something
Oh.
with a squiggle.
We put a line across the O and make the same sound.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was Russian.
I thought you were Russian. They turned the letters around.
Yeah,
Really?
I didn't. I was like, there's 47 letters here. What am I supposed to do with this? And they're all backwards. I was like, holy crap, I should have been born in Russia. I'm so dyslexic. I now know the problem. I was supposed to be Russian.
I don't know if that would help. Just having
Probably not.
no.
Still be just as dyslexic and Cyrillic.
When I need beaver meat, off to Bucky's Brisket. I got a
Outstanding.
brisket sandwich. I think it was a brisket sandwich I had at Bucky's. That was actually good.
I have never been to Bucky's, but I'm going when I visit my mom. She lives in Alabama, y'all. It like
Oh, boy.
she's describing her town, and I'm thinking, this is awesome. I am going to people watch the hell out of this town. Except it's a dry county. I don't know how my mom got moved to a dry county.
Luck of the draw. She had to be so far away from schools.
She comes up to Indiana Costco that's just filled with booze. But she took me to a winery and I got like really good wine and got to talk with her. So, I got booze too. It was the Lenten miracle. I didn't make
Holly
water
Jones
into wine.
is in Alabama and visiting
Nice.
her mom. I'm from Alabama. No, how is it he says it? The good old Forrest Gump. Alabama. I can't remember. He's from Alabama as well.
Greenbow, Alabama.
Yeah. Why is my computer doing updates right now? That's a little annoying.
My computer was just going absolutely apeshit.
Yeah, I just had some black squares starting to, when it's updating something, it just popped
Yeah.
up in the middle of the screen.
Look,
Probably not
boys, I told you that Lizzo looked better, but you don't need to keep downloading her in a crop top since she was on SNL. Stop objectifying her. She's a beautiful woman.
I haven't seen much of Rizzo since she got her sexual harassment cases against her.
I couldn't tell you the
Well,
last time I
yeah.
saw anything about her.
She came back out and she's like, she lost a bunch of weight. So she's been all over the place.
Ozempic.
No, we're
Yep.
not gonna see Jamie's beautiful
No.
face. Jamie is actually never on the channel anymore. Now it's Jay who is in here instead because Jamie had to relocate and enter the witness protection program because there was a local gang that she helped put behind bars, and so we got a replacement. It's not the same, but it's almost as good. I actually needed Jamie for my. Was it 2 days ago? I saw Twisted Tragedy, and she had those. Jay, you don't know anything about lashes. Jamie was my lash expert. She had those
She was
ones
good
where
at
you could see where they were glued on because they didn't. She didn't align it, so it stuck out a little bit in the corners. If I ever saw cum catches, it was those lashes.
I bet she was fun at 2 a.m.
Bless her heart.
Oh, that's a lot of money.
Nice.
Holy Cheetos. Does it? Well, I mean,
Well,
does
actually,
it tell the
that's
weather or
probably-
have a calculator or anything? Like, why is it so
That's-
expensive?
I
For a
was
brand
I
new
was
gaming
looking
computer.
I was looking at an upgrade for my streaming rig, and you start because I need a little extra RAM and I want a good graphics card as well. And then I started clicking all the things. Oh, you need a little extra hard drive, and it
$3,000
turned out to
later.
be 28,000 Danish. So that was
Nice.
a little expensive.
Nice.
Could you put your logo on it and claim it as a business expense?
It's a business expense. I use it for streaming.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'll
you have
get-
to go
I'll
get
the-
stuff to stream. You have to get food to stay alive. I say,
but you can't,
as your tax consultant, write it off.
Don't
when
do
I was
that.
in Copenhagen, I
Don't
could
do that.
write my food off because it was a business
Oh yeah,
trip.
because it's a business trip. That's fun.
Yeah. Quick disclaimer, do not listen to any life advice I give you. I am a chaos demon who barely learns how to function as an adult, and I almost drove off from Arby's without getting my food yesterday. So honestly,
Mo's only ever played chaotic neutral in D&D.
I'm trying to be goodish. Like I have like a Lilo and Stitch percentage of goodness, and I would say it's 67% good, and whatever the other number is, snarky.
And for those of you who didn't know this, yes, there was this TikTok lawyer, Note My Objection, who was very anti-Karen Reed, who has been dropped now by NBC 10. And instead, it's Know Your Lawyer who has taken over, which I think a lot of people have been saying, well, Peter is way too middle of the road. But I think for a commentator, it's on, especially on TV, that's where he should be. He has changed his mind a lot since he started covering the case, but I think he's an upgrade. Let's just say that. I saw someone on TikTok say, someone who has TikTok say, "Well, you could join me and my 10,000 followers," and it's not that big of a. I got 10,000 on TikTok. You can buy that for less than anything in India.
Working will set you free, but let's shower first.
Shouldn't laugh. I'm going straight to hell.
No, Diane G. I have read the court filings. It's Know Your Lawyer. It's from Sarah Boone's case. It's Know Your Lawyer.
Our golden girl. Yes, I have all of her family files, and I'm getting ready to do a Boonathon.
Oh, yikes.
How could you, Jemima? You said you couldn't get hold of it.
Well, I paid for it, so you know.
Well, Jemima could pay
Florida
for it as well.
thanks me. Governor DeSantis, I would like a thank you card for keeping your, state ago. Actually, Sarah Boone, I would love a personal thank you card. Let's talk, sweetie.
Yikes.
Yeah, and
Maybe you
Peter
can
said
give me a
he would
kidney.
never charge this case, but I've never seen any lawyer who has a little bit of who had some following before this case started. I haven't seen any of them go, Karen Reed is guilty. I've seen a lot of people who are trying to build a channel looking at, as I always say, it's easier to be a big fish in a small pond than a small fish in a big pond. Where do you want to go if you want to get noticed? Go to the anti-side, because they got Plevin, they got Twisted Strategies, and they got Krusty and Doink the Clown. There's an audience, and you could get it, because the rest of them, if they can string together a sentence, it's a good day.
You know what? That brings up a good point. I do think Karen Reed's guilty. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think she's guilty as sin, and that's my new stance. My new stance is Karen Reed's guilty. That's my new
But
stance.
Valhalla, do you have a shape to indicate how you figured this out? Because the triangle is already taken. I have stolen Baker's, who stole it from what's his face. Mine is dark chocolate, sarcasm, and true crime.
The rhombus of regret. That's what I'm going to call it.
Ooh, I like
Ooh.
it. The tetrahedron of terror.
Mo advertising milk, Jamie showing her eggs, and Baker and Val both look like bacon. I wonder why I want a second breakfast. That's
McDonald's has breakfast till 11.
I'm actually, I just bought some bacon today. I haven't had bacon.
I
in
just
a while.
made some bacon, so
I
Ooh,
was supposed to
I'm
make
going to
bacon last
Jamie's
night.
house.
Didn't get to. Mrs. Valhalla says she wasn't all that hungry, so we didn't even make food. We just ate leftovers.
Okay, but that brings up the debate. Bacon, should it be crispy, like burnt, or should it be like just, done?
Mrs. Valhalla
It should be able to
likes
crack
hers.
when you take it in your mouth. It has to be able to crack.
Oh, see, I don't know if I agree.
I like it chewy.
I like a little bit of
I like it a
chew
bit
on it.
I
chewy.
like a little bit of chew.
Mr. Mo likes it burnt. And I keep telling him, because he's like, that's how my grandma made it. And I'm like, sweetie, your grandma grew up in the Depression. They weren't going to throw out bacon if they burnt it. She just couldn't cook. That's not my fault. but it smells like burnt, and I'm not burning stuff. So, but I love Mr. Mo, so I do leave some on extra crispy for him, but it's gross.
That's Mrs.
Yeah.
Valhalla likes hers like burnt. And it's just like, yeah, you're ruining it.
Yeah.
You're taking such a beautiful thing and ruining it.
I know. How do you do that? How do you
That's a
how do you
Momark greeting card. I got boobs. You got peen. Let's happy. That's good. That's
I'm
good.
telling you,
That's
men,
good.
would you rather get a card full of like life's been a journey and I've held your hand through all of it? No. Do you want to just see a card with boobs that says, "Hey, you want
Yeah.
to see mine?"
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one. I like that. I'd appreciate that.
See, I just need to learn how to do graphical stuff and papery stuff and markety stuff. I'm more of an idea person. Like if I could have a crew of people around me to do stuff when I have ideas,
I thought that's why you had 17 kids.
I ask them to rinse the plates before they put them in the sink because apparently my life doesn't have meaning. So they left me dishes. And I just asked them to not let the things get welded on. And they're like, I am going to call Social Security on you. I was like, please do. And my name, rank, and social is this if you want to ask.
Whoa. Don't do that. Don't
I would
do
just
that.
say, going back to your heathen weird words you said before, Denmark is known for breeding a pig that was extra long, so we had more bacon. I
like that
will
idea.
Oh
then claim
my Bob
my
Ross. I'm
ancestral
moving to Denmark.
inheritance as a farmer kid. Bacon shouldn't be burnt, but it should be crispy. You have it where it's just perfect before it burned, and you can snap it. That's the best bacon. You can't have it any other way. Oh, I'm gonna chew it. Eat some ham. Bacon is why is it so fatty? So you can crisp it up. I won't tolerate anti-bacon hedonism on this channel.
Okay, can we all agree that Canadian bacon is ham, though?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
We're all in agreement there.
Canada, we will end the tariffs if you stop lying about your bacon.
They're ham.
Yes, it is now ham.
I
Canadian
would rather
ham.
not get a card and just get naked.
Well,
There's
I
that
mean,
route.
yeah.
I'm okay with that too, I guess. But the card at least lets you know it's coming. Next
Yeah,
ticket there.
anticipation. Like when I send Mr. Mo pictures of Nancy Pelosi's cleavage.
Oh, you're an evil
And
woman.
following right up with that is LDR saying, ladies, I offer flopping bacon and a hot sausage.
That was the best
Perfect
non
time
sequitur
super chat.
ever. Oh dear
done.
Lord, are they ever going to start?
Nope. It's 40 minutes late now, and we are just this is why you watch it on a commentator channel. Oh, I just went live according to my notifications.
Oh, that's good timing.
Yeah.
OnlyFans. Check out Broken Baker.
We have
Keep
OnlyFans
Here with
back in
Amanda
the courtroom.
Bynes now.
I thought that was only fan. Only fan. Singular.
Oh my God, we should Baker. You should do a little short and
Oh,
have
Mountain Dew.
OnlyFan on it.
Definitely drinking Mountain Dew, not pickle juice. That's disgusting. Why would you drink pickle juice? Oh,
Well, people says it helps with
Electrolytes.
hangovers.
whatever. It's weird. I don't like it. I don't like pickles though.
I don't like pickles, but I like the juice. Have you ever marinated a chicken breast in pickle juice?
What do you think?
Probably
No.
not. It's actually
Probably.
really good.
I'm not a pickle fan.
I'm going to take
either.
your word for it. No, I'm not
Yeah.
marinating anything in pickle
Well, yeah,
juice.
if
It's
it's not your
disgusting.
jam, it's gonna sound like oysters sound to me. Like I don't understand why rich people want to eat sea snot.
Oysters are
when you don't
delicious.
eat a pearl.
I
They're
don't get the
delicious.
oysters or what is it,
It's
caviar?
a blob of
Like,
snot
why?
from the sea. God is telling us not to eat it because you nearly choke on them.
I don't.
Diane, it's just getting the swear jar started if some of these motion goes sideways. No, that'll be she'll probably come in and say, yeah, I read all of them. I'm gonna rule on it. See you all Monday or Tuesday.
It'll
Tuesday.
take 15 minutes.
No, she'll
Like, I've
say,
been
I will
briefed on the
read them.
motion.
I am in the process of reading them. Mr. Yannetti,
Oh,
this is Massachusetts.
where's your Bev wig? Why didn't you wear your
Okay,
Bev
my
wig?
my husband is making my room handy capable, so I have to buy a new Bev wig because I have to buy a new Sarah Boone wig because all of my wigs are in a bucket, in protective things, and I can't find them and or climb to get them. So they are in my Amazon. If you would like to fund my wig fund, Mr. Mo would probably appreciate you funding my not so profitable addiction.
I need a ball cap for when I'm doing my plevin.
Can I just
You wear a
say,
ball
you lasting 2 hours with them, I got
One
30 minutes.
one hour. Then I
There's
had
only
an
1
hour
hour?
of therapy where we were just sitting there. It was kind
Okay.
of like I think Jamie and Jemima came on, and it was. Did Marissa come on as well? I can't remember. And I
We
think
had that
all of us.
NC cop guy.
Yeah, NC Cup. Yeah, he came on, and I think we all kind of had it like Bambi in the beginning of the movie, where you're just standing there saying, "Dad, no, mom," a little blockstigated what we just been through, and I still don't think until I saw the expert doing a rerun of it that I figured out how stupid he was.
I was willing. What people don't get is I was willing to give him a chance. Again, I'm going into this, like I go into any case. I don't have a side. I don't think that the state proved their case the last time, but I'm willing to let them, prove it this time. I don't know all of the, Turtle Boy inside stuff. I'm not a Turtle Boyite. Honestly, if I am not, doing streaming stuff, I am watching ridiculous Reddit stories read by fake automaton people.
Border Patrol
So-
Australia is my new jam.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to look at that.
Border Patrol Australia?
Why is anyone fighting to get in Australia? Everything there wants
Right?
to
No,
effing kill
no.
you.
It's always. Do you have any food? I'll do my Aussie accent. Do you have any food to declare? And they always
Oh,
no speaky English, goody. I'll open your bag now. You signed this form? Yes. Sign. Oh, you got 40,000 cigarettes and 45 tons of uncooked meat. Yes, for me only. You can't bring it in, and it's food. Why didn't you write food? No, speaky English, but you signed it. No, that's the wife. I'm a doctor. But
to
you
be
can't- there were-
fair,
there were-
he was
no,
going to
I-
watch the Karen Reed trial. He needed all those cigarettes.
There was a guy who brought in like a bag of scented tobacco, and he kept going back to them and said, "Could I just have just a little bit? Just it'll make me happy. It'll make me happy." And they were just, "You better walk away right now, sir, or you will get a fine because you got off with a warning, and we're gonna confiscate all of it." Yeah, but
Just a little.
just a little, and they were. It's
Just
gonna
a
be
little.
I think it was like a $500 Australian, so that's probably banana. Fine, but he was just no, just a small pinch. I'll be happy. Yeah, you'll be happy when you get the fine. I watched that. It's good. Those Asians love bringing in weird fish and stuff. Yeah, they brought in some bird nest.
Oh, they do make soup out of that. Swallow.
It's saliva from birds.
And poop.
No, only saliva.
Look, I'm not explaining it. Look, they're going to have to come to the front of the congregation and explain this. I'm simply saying they wash the nests, they put them back
What?
together, and then they eat them. I don't know why.
I love how Baker says it's only saliva. Come on.
I promise. Birds poop in their nests. I promise.
Yeah, but it's not what bird nest is a special thing made from. I'm more bird saliva. First of all, birds aren't real. Second of all, is spitting birds a big problem?
Well, they throw up, right, for their babies.
Yes.
No, they
So-
regurgitate their food.
Sort of. They
Yeah,
also
That's what
add.
blow up means.
They also. They also add. So I can't remember exactly what it's called, but they make
Bring out the
some
bird
other
knowledge, Val.
liquid. Yeah, they make a liquid in their crop, their craw, somewhere in there that aids in the nutritional value of food when they're regurgitating it to their young ones. In pigeons, it's called pigeon milk or craw milk. I think I could have the name wrong there by a lot. Crop milk. I think it's crop milk. But there's
Welcome to
actually
Bird
a
Talk, where we talk
nutritional
about birds and bird stuff.
benefit. Sorry, y'all.
Baker, I got a new profile pic, 280-pound Panama tuna. What do you think? I think the guy next to you, he looks fine. Why did you dress up like a tuna? And you're not 280 pounds. Get out of here.
Okay, this is a dumb question, but I'm going to ask it. So, what do you do with all the tuna? Like, do you get to
You eat
get
it.
a cut of bumblebee? Like, do you can it yourself? Like, what do you do after you do you mount it? Oh my God, do you mount it?
No. The big tuna, they're worth like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
really bluefin tuna
Like
is some of the most
crazy
expensive.
expensive.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just thinking, see, this is how you
No,
can
no,
tell I'm
no.
a great value mom and not a Target mom. Because I'm like, ooh, is it in oil? That's fancy.
Only 10% dolphin. Oh, this is the fancy stuff.
Ooh. No, see, I pick up the cans that are more than 10%. I'm like, I want flipper in there. My kids need to be smart.
I thought
Needs
this
to
was a
be-
Karen Reed stream. It is a Karen
We
Reed stream
did too.
where we have to, because they are 46 minutes late now.
How does this happen? What is like?
Well, at some point, you would think someone higher up would say, this is making us look incredibly disorganized. It's giving a bad look. Canton already has a bad enough rap. You would think that someone would be advising them, especially under all of the scrutiny that they've been on. You'd think they'd have a public relations team. You think that they would coordinate and have better optics. Why is it the evil cabal of lizard people are all stupid? I was hoping that the evil people behind everything, that Alex Jones always talks about would be smart, but they're all art-tarded. This is bad.
How can they hide from us if they're this stupid? I'm dry brining a 20-ounce Wagyu New York strip. Hit me up, ladies and select men, if you want to end your search for that perfect hunk of meat to settle down with. I only had Wagyu once, and I'm not the biggest fan.
I don't think I've ever had it.
Do you just put salt on it?
Well, salt and spices.
Oh,
Yeah, it'll
As
draw
you
the
all
meat.
wake up and it's into my night, I have just found out I'm going to be a Mima again. 12 weeks along today. Congratulations, Inspire.
congratulations! That is
Heck
so
yeah.
awesome. Yay for the new little nugget.
Join Valhalla in parenthood.
It's a weird way to say I got baby goats, man.
I was at the treadmill today. It's cardio day, so I was standing,
Ooh,
and because I
jazzercise.
always put an audiobook, and I need something so I don't look at how long I still have to walk till hell is over. So I put on the baby goats, and all of a sudden the lady next to me, she was doing this, and I was like, You want me to find that channel because they had YouTube on the screen?
Outstanding.
Where did you find this? It's a buddy of mine who raises goats.
That is so awesome.
That is awesome.
Is it live? I said yeah, and then so you got 2 extra views from the gym today.
I need to put a
Appreciate
GoPro on Dingus, but he does some rather X-rated things. So we might be having a gay cat rectangle because Dingus loves Loki and Thor. They kind of adopted him as a kitten, but now they're
Loki.
more than friends.
Loki. There's no
Mr. Mo
I
won't
in-
let me play
there
George
is
Michael
no
songs
I in
around and
Loki.
like put a rainbow flag up.
Hear ye,
Holy
hear
crap,
ye,
they're in court.
hear ye.
Bev's
She
coming to the
has
bench.
arrived. God,
right,
Bev,
let's-
you had a whole damn year to change your flippin' haircut.
She got a new
She works-
haircut. She got her roots dyed in and everything. She is fresh off the saloon.
And she
Fresh off the
probably
saddle,
paid for
maybe.
that. That is a crime. Someone needs to go to jail for that.
Turn on the audio. Turn on the audio. Turn
We're
on
not
the
gonna
audio.
get this part.
Lawn crime.
Turn on the audio. Marissa.
Someone call the court. Someone.
Marissa is
Oh, who's
really
that
dilly
chick?
darling.
Who's that chick?
Oh my
She's
God!
the
Do I
new.
get to buy
She's
more
the former
headbands?
juror who became member of the defense team.
Oh, that's
She's
right.
gonna
I forgot
be
about
put it-
her.
They have a motion to put her on today so she can carry the Pro Hawk along with Janetti.
That's outstanding.
Hey, Chrissy.
What
Hi,
was her
Chrissy.
name?
Well, we would know if Law and Crime had their volume on.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I was trying to write my notes so I can be smartish. I have
We would
an
all like to.
notebook.
Ooh, fancy.
Victoria. Victoria. is her name.
Victoria. Victorious. That's what we're
Oh,
going for
Victoria.
here.
Thank you.
Victorious.
I
was
love
a
the
great
collective
night.
knowledge of chat. You guys are awesome sauce.
Victoria George. What is going on, Law and Crime? Come on, man.
I'm just
here
going to
on
check
time
if
and
Boston
everything.
25 has it with audio. on.
Jesus. You guys are,
Is it on
You're like
Court
the
TV
complete
or
court
is that a
wolf.
dumb question?
Why do you suck so
I'm-
bad?
I'm looking.
God.
Everyone, calmale.
They must have gotten one of the Hallmark cards that I'm making. It was an early release. They're busy right now.
Copy. You wanted to be heard on that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You did not file anything new, right?
Oh, we
No,
don't
just
need-
the motion
Okay.
for reconsideration.
We don't need to.
When was that filed? That was filed a long time ago, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It was prior to the motion.
All right.
Your Honor, the defense respectfully requests that this court reconsider the portion of its February 18th, 2025 order denying defendant's motion to compel the production of a forensically sound copy of the Sallyport video surveillance footage from January 29th, 2022. The court obviously understands the importance of establishing the bona fides of the Canton Sallyport video in this case. The court sat through trial. You watched the testimony regarding the inverted video. The court initially denied the request for a forensically sound copy because I believe the court indicated it did not have an affidavit from an expert suggesting that the procedure proposed by the Commonwealth and objected to by the defense would result in the destruction of metadata. We have since provided the court with an affidavit from our expert establishing that if the Commonwealth engaged in the protocol that they proposed, namely simply dragging and dropping files from the Canton Police Department computer onto a USB drive, then all of the associated metadata would either be destroyed or otherwise unverifiable. And of course, right after we filed that affidavit, the very next morning, the Commonwealth went ahead and dragged and dropped the files from the Canton Police Department computer over to a USB drive. That damage has been done. It can't be rectified, but there may still be some metadata and available evidence on the Canton Police Department computer that our expert can glean if that data is properly imaged. The import of this video surveillance cannot be overstated. This is a seminal issue at trial. I have conferred with our expert. I do believe that there's a chance that we may still be able to obtain some relevant information. And so we're asking that the court order this. I would also note that after the hearing on this specific issue, the Commonwealth produced a new report. That report was dated February 27th, 2025. And in that report, Canton Police Department Sergeant DGM Pietro claims for the very first time that he was responsible for downloading all of the Canton Police Department surveillance video, in this case, onto the detective drive at issue. So that's everything from January 29th. That's incredibly important. We don't have all of that information, and we're asking the court to order that that be properly imaged for our review.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bryan.
Someone said, Glow said, I wish her voice wasn't so shaky. She always sounds nervous. She is way better now than she was in the first
Yeah,
trial.
I was
She
just
sounds,
going to comment on that. She sounds much more confident. It's still there. I mean, but it is a lot more confident. I don't cringe now when she's coming to. I was very impressed. I mean, again, I think if you're complaining about it now, go watch the first trial because it was so much worse. Now she does
Yeah.
sound much more confident. Maybe, this was her first really, really big trial. And now she's kind of found her setting or her footing.
yeah.
She's a partner, right? Before this.
Now,
even
well,
She was a partner
did
in
you
the first trial as well.
yeah.
did you guys catch the name of the deputy that downloaded or was responsible?
He has a very, he
I
has an
wrote something
Italian,
foreign.
D.
Italian,
Okay.
something.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Serenity.
Hey, listen, Mo. If you're going to take notes, you got to pay better
It
attention.
seems
all
the
right,
defense characterization
I'm sorry.
is
The
forensically
game of
sound, it's
Petro
fluid,
was just
it's
out of my.
difficult to follow. What is clear is that we invited them to come to the Canton Police Department, bring their expert, download anything that was on the DVR, which nothing existed, and then we further invited them to download the detective file. They had over a month to do that. They declined. That invitation has been ongoing. It's been constant. And it is current. If they would like to
Why
go
are
to the
you
Canton
fighting it?
Police Department with their expert and download any of the detective file and see what exists, they're welcome to do that. So if they want a court order allowing them to come, which they don't need because we've invited them.
But you
Why
couldn't
is this
give
happening now?
the original file, you big old. It's constantly with this effing lying and blaming the defense. I hate this guy.
Well, also, how did Ichabod Crane escape Sleepy Hollow? Where is the Headless Horseman when you need him? His voice is going to get to me. Damn Poindexter.
It's bad.
But
Yeah.
it's also obfuscating the point. The point wasn't that they could have access to it. The point was that they did exactly what they were asked not to and destroyed critical evidence. He is arguing around the point.
And he does this constant. If you haven't seen the hearings, this is 24/7, 9/25, constantly just doing
Baker,
this.
to quote you, I'm going in raw.
Only way to
Continuously,
go.
we'll agree to the court order. They're welcome to come anytime.
So is
Oh,
the
dear God.
Commonwealth now agreeing that we can forensically image the Canton Police Department detective file? Because we've been in our request. in the
Okay,
past.
so I really don't want you talking to each other. I want you talking to me. All right, so you asked the question to me. Answer it, Mr. Brennan.
The defense cannot download the entire detective file because it contains files wholly unrelated to this case. And it would then intrude upon private information and other investigations. They can go to the detective file and they can download everything to do with this case. But they cannot have a photo image of the entire detective file of the Canton Police Department.
Okay, thank you. All right, so the next motion we're going to do
Rule on it, Beveridge.
is just the,
Yeah, let them have a taint team. And remember when Brennan said, I didn't trust the taint team, so I took over. Because that's absolutely how you do it.
motion for the view. I had asked defense counsel to propose something about how Ms. Reed will get there. Have the two of you talked at all about how we're going to do our view? Two sides talked?
We haven't talked about the logistics. I'm happy to do that. I don't think that's a very lengthy conversation between the Commonwealth.
Right, but we have to make arrangements, so that was something that I asked you to figure out. You say
Bev's
Ms.
going to
Reed
pull
wants
over
to
this
go on the
trial.
view, she can go on the view. How do you propose that's done?
The simplest way would be for her to, obviously, the jurors would be transported the exact same way that they were transported last time. We were on a bus. As I stand here, I can't remember if we were we were not on the same bus as the jurors.
Yes, we were.
We were just separated by seats, by
Right.
distance. I don't know that would be the best protocol. I think the better practice would probably be for the defense team to arrive at the same time, follow the bus in a separate vehicle, which we can provide. and Ms. Reed would be separated from the jurors the same way that the defense counsel was separated from the jurors and Commonwealth was separated from the jurors, but just be there and able to observe the same circumstance that we observed last time.
So I'm not going to allow all defense counsel to come in a separate vehicle because then it will be the Commonwealth in the bus with the jurors. We need defense counsel. One defense counsel can go in a car then separately with Ms. Reed,
That's
and
fine.
the rest will be on the bus.
That's fine.
I do need you to talk to figure out when you want to do this view. Did you want input, Mr. Brennan?
The only issue that was of difference was whether or not the motor vehicle would be at the address. The only reason I had reluctance, I thought it was unfairly prejudicial to the defense. If they decide
They want it, right? You want the vehicle there at the time?
We do.
if they want it there, then I'll be agreeable.
Okay.
That was my concern at the time, but if that's that request, I'll agree to it.
No, you didn't want the car there because when you see the car there and you see how small Fairview 34 is, when I started measuring today and saw how small the front yard was, because when you just look at it, you can't really figure out how small it is. But just that drawing, it's a really small front yard. So I would want the car there to say, how could Jen not see this?
Yeah,
He
again,
was complaining about that. That was
Yeah.
part of his argument. So I don't know why.
Well, he was
like,
just
oh, yeah,
defending the defense, Jamie.
Yeah.
such
He's
a-
only fighting your motion because he cares about you, Karen Reed. That's why.
I just don't understand having the council, either council, the state or the defense, on the bus with the jury.
to
that
make sure
doesn't
no
make
one
sense.
influences the jury. They're there to check each other out.
Oh,
It's the
okay.
same why you at a polling station you'll have well, in Denmark we have a few more parties than you have, so we will have a representative for every party if they can spare some, so we can make sure that the Social Democrats can't do shenanigans with the
That makes sense.
left.
Thanks for explaining it. I was just,
Yeah.
I was wondering why they would have them there.
And Brandon,
Now-
thank you for. Can I come in your car, in your vehicle, beverage? I think you spelled "come" wrong.
The date of the view?
Well, you know,
I didn't know if the court wanted any confidentiality in the date of the view. I would like to talk to.
So why don't I see counsel at sidebar about this anyway?
Sidebar, sidebar.
sidebar. We've got a side.
We need a little sidebar jingle. Let's get Shizzy on that one so we can get the.
Oh,
democ-
yeah. Who in the world is the Barbie doll in back? How much plastic surgery has she had?
That's Estrie. She has been outside of court supporting Karen Reed at the local what's it called state house and stuff like that, trying to raise awareness. Estrie is her name on Twitter, where she normally gets into fight with weirdos on the other side. But who doesn't?
Her face looks plastic. I'm sorry. I'm so that was a cited utterance. I didn't mean that. It's just weird. It's uncanny valley. It's very soft. It's almost like you're looking at a filter on a person.
Appreciate it, Hellfish.
All right, so on the defendant's list, I don't understand the motion regarding Dr. Welcher, because that's been decided. So why is that here on this list? Is it erroneously on the list?
It's not erroneously, Your Honor, but Mr. Brennan and I spoke about it. We have an agreement that will obviate the need for the court, which is my presumption. Mr. Brennan is going to state it, and that would be my suggestion to Your Honor, and then we can move on to the next matter. We've reached agreement.
Okay, what's the agreement? What's the agreement?
The agreement is there's going to be a redaction to the PowerPoint presentation of Dr. Welcher, specifically page 37. There was, according to Attorney Brennan, an erroneous remnant on 37.
Okay, so why don't you just provide me with the new slide so I know what it is? Okay,
I will do that.
all right, thank
Thank you,
you.
Your Honor.
Okay,
She really doesn't like him.
so
As Brandon said earlier, they need to utilize Miss Little more because
Yeah.
Bev sees her as a young Bev.
Yeah, definitely there is a dismissiveness of the defense tone wise. Again, I haven't lived and breathed Karen Reed like you guys have, but as a casual observer, there is a tonal difference when she is dealing with the defense. I also don't like that she's not closing any of these. Most judges are like, okay, we had a motion. I have sort of an inkling about how I want to go. You both argue it, and then they have something. She's always like, I'll do that, yesterwember, Februember, we'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Tomorrow never.
Yeah, and she's constantly cutting them off, and her sigh is out of control today. When Brennan went up there and she just
Lieutenant Wing, docket 607 and 658. So what I want to know about that, Mr. Brennan, before we begin is, do you have the new report of Lieutenant Wing?
I do. I received it last night. I haven't read it, but I discussed it with counsel. I understand it's just minor edits to the original report. So that won't delay any hearing on this.
All right, so you're prepared to go forward?
I am.
All right, I'll hear you.
Your Honor, the defense proposes Mr. Wing as a dog bite expert. I think it is too late to ask for a Lanigan hearing. The trial's upon us, regardless of whether or not I think I have standing for it. I do not want to delay this trial in any way. However, there are concerns about the qualifications of Mr. Wing. He has no experience in.
You shut up now. Your dog bite expert has absolutely no qualifications other than I'm a veterinarian. And he's going to testify about pattern
Not a
recognition.
veterinarian, though.
I thought he was a dog trainer.
Yeah, well, he's a dog trainer who gave himself a fancy title. But
Well,
I want
I think
to
one might-
say if he's going to do this all the time, well, at least you got something from your $300,000 you spent on this guy, Massachusetts.
No kidding.
So again, how would one qualify as an expert? Has he written papers? Has he worked in the field? These are, again, kind of niche sort of things that one is going to be an expert in. So maybe the qualifications are going to be different.
No.
And
Again, you haven't watched it. He has denied that Dr. Russell knows anything about dog bites. She wrote 2 papers on dog bites. Then he brought in a guy who trained dogs and got fired from the Florida Animal Preserves something because he gave one of the workers a pig to take home and roast. When the family came to find it again, it was gone. But it tasted great, rumor has it.
But it was
and
delicious.
This guy is overly qualified. He has this thing where he's always complaining that they are not qualified, even though they have all the qualifications. But his ground hardness expert is not a geologist. It's a meteorologist, which has no knowledge about ground hardness. So it's constantly this, and you will hate this guy before we get to the end of week 1.
oh no,
He's
Ichabod
terrible.
Crane is already crawling up my very final nerve. He and Hagatha the Leg are going to be right on the same thing as Kevin Spacey.
Pattern recognition analysis, I see no training on his resume. I will not hold the defense to the standard they've tried to employ, that he is not a medical expert, nor will I rely on Dr. Russell saying she's the only qualified individual in the country, but rather this person should have some
Stop the snark.
qualification to come into court and give an opinion that a abrasion is supposedly a dog bite. It doesn't appear that Mr. Wing is a certified trainer. It doesn't appear that Mr. Wing has ever testified in court before. And so to expedite the matter, rather than look or seek a Lanigan hearing, I think it would be helpful to have a short voir dire regarding his qualifications before he's presented as a witness, so the court can determine whether or not he is in fact even
I can't pull it
qualified
up,
witness in this
Valhalla.
case.
I have to take everything off.
Thank you, Your Honor. With regard to the report, I just want to underscore that there are changes and I discussed these with Attorney Brennan, but I want the record to be clear. There was an objection to the original report of references to Dr. Crosby. We removed those, so those are fairly substantial.
Are there any other changes to it other than the removal of Dr. Crosby?
There are, but there, as Attorney Brennan indicated, they're minor parlance, et cetera, but otherwise it's the same substance.
Okay. So why don't you provide me with the new or redacted one as well, and I'll take a look at it.
Right,
Okay.
that has, I will do that, Your Honor. I'll provide the court with that forthwith. The second is on the substance. Lieutenant Wing is extraordinarily experienced. You will see that in his report. The summary of his experience, because it would take a lot of time to go through it. For several years, he's been one of, if not the country's leading experts on training law enforcement with regard to the use of canines, not only with bite and hold techniques, but also with what are called washout dogs, which are very much similar to civilian, some call them pet dogs. He has extraordinary experience with wound recognition. Attorney Brennan respectfully is incorrect when he says he doesn't have experience with pattern recognition. His experience is extraordinary in that regard. Your Honor will make her own judgment, but the report clearly establishes his pattern recognition. His methodology, unlike that of Dr. Crosby, is stated in his report, and in addition, he cites two specific studies for his report, including pattern recognition. And the whole topic of pattern recognition was well established through Dr. Russell. So Your Honor will see that as well. My last category of points to make, Your Honor, is this. The timing of this report came in light of the court's ruling on Dr. Crosby that a non-medical doctor can opine on wounds to humans. And we did make a motion for reconsideration with regard to Dr. Crosby, and understanding the court's schedule and other matters, given that there was not an ability to have that motion determined, we then decided that we had to submit the report of Lieutenant Wing. We want to make clear that Lieutenant Wing is being offered not as a rebuttal, but as part of the defense's case in chief. And it is part of that in light of the March 6th order of the court with regard to Dr. Crosby. The aspects of behavior in combination with the wound recognition is different from Dr. Russell. There is overlap, but it's different. And the bottom line here is that the approach of Lieutenant Wing and his qualifications exceed that of Dr. Crosby.
Stop doing that.
And my request, Your Honor, is I
Oh,
do
internet.
not believe that
Why is my internet effing up?
Not within the realm of that.
an ability to have that motion determined, we then, Your Honor, will see that as well. My last category of points to make, Your Honor will make her own judgment, but the report clearly establishes his pattern recognition. His methodology, unlike that of Dr. Crosby, is stated in his report, and in addition, he cites two specific studies for his report, including pattern recognition. And the whole topic of pattern recognition was well established through Dr. Russell. So Your Honor will see that as well. My last category of points to make, Your Honor, is this. The timing of this report came in light of the court's ruling on Dr. Crosby that a non-medical doctor can opine on wounds to humans. And we did make a motion for reconsideration with regard to Dr. Crosby, and understanding the court's schedule and other matters. Given that there was not an ability to have that motion determined, we then decided that we had to submit the report of Lieutenant Wing. We want to make clear that Lieutenant Wing is being offered not as a sur rebuttal, but as part of the defense's case in chief. And it is part of that in light of the March 6th order of the court with regard to Dr. Crosby. The aspects of behavior in combination with a wound recognition is different from Dr. Russell. There is overlap, but it's different. And the bottom line here is that the approach of Lieutenant Wing and his qualifications exceed that.
Oh, it was the feed.
Of
It wasn't
Dr.
my feed.
Crosby. And my request, Your Honor, is I do not believe there is at all a need for the voir dire hearing on Dr. Crosby. We have made that request of Dr. Crosby.
That's another motion. That's what we're going to hear next.
Understood. And I was just going to say, I am not going to get into the basis for that. I just wanted to, because.
Just go ahead. Just move on.
Yeah. So my request would be that a determination on whether or not there's a voir dire.
Okay. All right. So there's also a motion for reconsideration regarding Dr. Crosby. I can tell you regarding reconsideration, I've found that he is an expert. I am not going to reconsider whether or not Dr. Crosby is an expert. I'm not going to reconsider whether he can testify as something is consistent or inconsistent with dog bites. But Mr. Brennan, I don't see how you're going to have him testify as to whether these marks could have come from Chloe, the specific dog. I think.
Why does she have
that
to?
You can certainly talk about measurements.
She shouldn't have to. If they came from a dog and they can be proven to come from a dog.
No. Relax. It's the state's witness that took a mold of Chloe's teeth, and Brennan will then have him testify it's not Chloe's teeth. And she's saying there's no way I can see how you can make that assumption. So it's actually good for Karen Reed that she says you can't go up there with any certainty and say this dog didn't make those marks.
Well, that and the bite mark evidence has been thoroughly debunked. It is completely subjective. It is just like ballistics. They even, they kind of debunked the Ted Bundy thing. The bite mark thing is not an exact science. It is just like ballistics. There is a human element. And the fact that they took a mold, are they going to have an arm moving? Are they going to have, someone trying to get away? Are they going to recreate that? There are so many different variables that you can't contend for or look for in an exemplar that you just cannot make this a like fingerprint. It's not DNA. It's not a fingerprint.
And
it's mitochondrial DNA, you fucknut.
It's the same as Lally said in the first trial that you can't use teeth marks to claim, because again, yes, it's debunked. It's still accepted as a science, but with a heavy disclaimer. When used in court, it has been ruled out, I believe, in 2 or 4 states as evidence, but it has a heavy disclaimer if it's used, which tool marking should have as well.
That may have been made, but I don't see how he can testify that this either was or was not this particular dog, particularly in light of the most recent National Academy of Science report that found that no evidence of an existing scientific basis for identifying an individual to the exclusion of all others via bite mark evidence. So what do you want to say about that?
Yes. Your Honor, there's a distinct difference between inclusion and exclusion. The National Academy of Forensic Science was an extraordinary study, well
No, there's not. I read that effing study, and it said you can't on any level determine anything because elasticity of the skin, the changing patterns in the mouth, and the movement of the object being bitten. This,
Yeah.
well, if he's not saying it's not this dog, he can't exclude it's not this dog. He shouldn't mention any of it. I can't
No.
conclude, but I can't exclude. No, you can't say anything. I
Wait,
hate this guy.
my brain
like-
just caught up. How the F did they find Chloe? We found Chloe? She's alive?
Brandon and Nima
Well,
worked together, and Brandon paid for Nima to come find him in Vermont.
yeah, we have
Another thing, they don't have evidence that that's the
What?
actual dog.
we have a mold of Chloe's teeth, but we still haven't seen Chloe. Nobody knows.
Oh,
where
good.
Chloe
Well,
is. She's
I'm
in
sure
Vermont.
that-
She's in Vermont.
Well, wonderful. Someone took a, Invisaligner kit to a dog. Wonderful.
3 years after the
Cases.
fact.
This case is a flaming dumpster
Yeah.
fire on top of
It has-
Chernobyl.
Mo, do you know what you should do from now until Tuesday? You should rewatch all the hearings, and then we will have a eulogy with your high blood pressure popping a few aneurysms before the next stream.
Baker, I'm a recovering Catholic. I get that it's Lent, and I'm kind of still a masochist. I mean, I always will be, but that's a little too far for me. Like, I'd rather do naked burpees in Walmart than watch hearings with these people.
I can tell you, just watching one hearing with
by
Greenland,
myself.
just to get in how bad he is, you will instantly hate this guy after watching 10 minutes. You can see
I
how he's
feel
constantly
bad.
he makes up stuff constantly.
He's terrible.
Wombs go barren around this man. It's not his fault. He just hasn't gotten laid in ever. I
Well,
mean,
I'm not sure.
who looks
I'm not-
at that and goes, "Ugh." I mean,
Yeah,
I look
she-
at that and
Apparently, someone is saying he might have a fling, but I don't know. Yeah, she's ruling for Karen for this one.
Expected.
It threw me off so bad. I was arguing against it.
A
I
consensus.
thought she was
among
just
experts.
ruling against Karen.
I
Got
want
me all riled up.
Allow that guy in. Do you know it's a state witness? I don't care.
Teeth structure.
Tired of these rulings,
in
Bev.
many ways be similar. So it is unfair to conclude that a particular person or a particular dog should be included or identified as the person who left that particular pattern.
No.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
No.
It is different in kind and not within the realm of that study or any other studies that I've seen to exclude a person or a dog as the contributor of that bite. And here, there is definitive evidence to clearly show and base an opinion that the dog named Chloe was not the cause of those wounds. That is the whole purpose of having the mold of Chloe, which is
No.
done with humans routinely, often, orthodontists, dentists, restructuring. The spacing itself
not for legal
is
stuff.
so
You
distinguishable between the
numbnuts.
molds and the spacing on Mr. O'Keefe's arm. It is an objective, a specific, and a substantive basis to draw a conclusion that there is no way to a degree of certainty that these wounds were caused by Chloe's mouth. In particular, Dr. Russell had opined not only that the bites were consistent with a dog wound, but she also opined about molars in different parts of the mouth. And since the defense has decided to likely identify particular teeth and structures as the basis.
No, they haven't. You're such a effing liar that lying lies.
To say
Here's
it's
the
comparable,
how is he going to argue that the defense is also bound by this kind of ruling, by the academic limitations of this science? The defense is going to also be limited, so he would be within his rights to object if they started saying, well, this eye tooth right here is definitely Chloe's. I'm guessing their expert is not going to do that because they read the damn paper.
Because they will stand up now and say, no, we're not. And he will just say, well, it's a misstatement.
with a
And
dog,
dentistry is not
we should be able
illegal
to counter
unless
that
it's
in rebuttal,
forensic
not our case in
dentistry.
chief, in rebuttal,
And that's used
that
to
these
identify
molds showed to
bodies.
a reasonable degree of certainty that these wounds could not have been caused by Chloe. So it's exclusion, not inclusion.
You can't do that because it's not a settled science, you dumb.
Yeah, it implies that there is ability to include.
Can we hear what she says?
that these wounds could not have been caused by Chloe. So it's exclusion, not inclusion.
It's an uphill battle for you, I'll tell you that. I'll hear from Mr. Wilson.
That's nothing about what?
Thank you, Your
Uphill
Honor. I can go
battle.
through this quickly. The National Academy of Science, the 2009 report Your Honor is referring to, there is no finding in that exclusion's okay, but inclusion is not. There's nothing in there to support that proposition. That's number one. Number two, with regard to the opinion of Dr. Crosby, he did use a mold, but he didn't use the overlay. In the NAS, I'll shortcut it, 2009, the only way you even get to discuss it is you have to have the mold and the overlay. Dr. Crosby doesn't have the overlay. So even not considering the first point I made, where that's allowed for humans, you need a mold and an overlay. So there is no basis in science for the proposition that with certainty this could not be Chloe. So in sum, the inclusion-exclusion distinction that Mr. Brennan tries to make is nowhere rooted in the NAS study. And the point that Your Honor made and that we have made consistently is that there's little difference between inclusion and exclusion when you get to the methodology that's employed. So we, Your Honor, would support what Your Honor's comment was in the beginning, and that is there should be no discussion with regard to Chloe on inclusion or exclusion basis. Thank you, Your Honor.
The only reasonable way to figure this out is to lock Chloe in a barn stall with Val. He has to shotgun a beer or defeat Chloe to get the door open. Well, then he has to defeat Chloe because Valhalla can't shotgun a beer.
Did you want to reply?
Oh, Lord, he's back.
Yep.
I would simply suggest that there is no authority that I'm aware of that prohibits exclusion, none. And as a predicate, and I know it's a side matter, the idea of Chloe as a predicate, that requires third-party culprit. And so before there being discussion about that, there would have to be an offer of proof that we have not seen and has not been presented. So it really should be irrelevant. But if the defense is going to try to bring it up, it's going to become a live issue. And if we have an obligation or we have a need to rebut, we want to fully rebut any of those claims.
Okay, which is why originally I was going to hear this motion to reconsider after the defense presented their witnesses. So, all right, thank you. The substitute chemist, is there any objection to the substitute chemist? It's Commonwealth's motion 663.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so Jim 63 is allowed.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you both
You
have
don't.
motions that are similar regarding, it's the Commonwealth 669 and Defense 670, I believe.
This is the first time I've heard her actually look at not case law, but a study and say, this makes no sense. Get the F out of here.
Yeah, this is definitely a change. She is citing things now instead of I'll think about it and whatever.
Yeah, but she still went, I wanted to wait till blah. But
Yeah, there's a lot of wiggle room in the law. It's all about shades of gray. But when the Academy of Science says that it is subjective and not worthy, then I would think that's fairly definitive. It's all the sciencey people that wear the lab coaty things, you know?
yeah.
They're the smart
Yeah,
ones.
and again, there's no inclusion, exclusion. Yes, there is, because you can't do it.
Yes.
So just shut up and sit down.
Well, it's
But
predicated
he's
on the fact
constant-
that you can include. So
But my problem is just, he's going to be like this in front of the jury as well. And then they're going to hate him just as much as we do.
yeah, wasting a jury's time is the worst thing you can do. Confusing them. I hope they have a tight case. I doubt it, but
It's about the
I
audio.
honestly
visual.
last night I honestly thought that if we get a report of lawyers getting into a physical altercation in the hallway from this case, I would not be surprised in the least.
Aids and giving notice. So you both in agreement to give notice to the other side before you use anything, and have you done so with regard to openings?
Commonwealth agrees to give notice. We've provided a number of clips of statements that we seek to use during the trial. I hope to narrow the ones that we're going to use specifically so the defense could have more notice of it. We have a clip that we'd like to offer in the opening. I'm not sure if our office has provided that to the defense. If not, we'll do that shortly after the hearing.
Okay. Who's arguing this for the defense, or who's telling me what's
I am,
going
Your
on?
Honor. We're happy to provide notice. We have not yet received the particular audio clip that the Commonwealth intends to use during opening, but we're happy to provide any visual aids that we intend to use as soon as today.
All right, I'd like to see what you both intend to use in your openings, because whether you agree with it or not, I have to make sure that it's admissible, that I know what will be coming into evidence before I let you put it up there.
That really
In an
is.
This is for the
opening?
court. The Commonwealth will provide a copy to defense. That's
Okay, thank you. Can I have the defense what you intend to put up?
This is a single photograph, Your Honor. I'll provide it to the court immediately after the hearing.
Okay,
Your Honor, I'll add that there are a number of statements that we have clipped. We, with the court's permission, would like to provide an entire package to the court so you can have an opportunity to view if you wanted to.
thank you. So I need the defense to look at this before the end of the hearing, because I don't want to bring everybody back tomorrow if you object to what the Commonwealth intends to put in their opening. Did you tell them what it is? Like, is it something that they already have?
They've had the materials, the interviews in total, but we've clipped the pieces that we want. It's been an ongoing process. I understand my office has sent a slew of those clips to the defense.
Okay,
I want to narrow it down. We're not going to use all of them unless there's a rebuttal portion, but I want to narrow down what we're giving them. But we've been over-inclusive in what we intend to provide.
The Commonwealth provided at least 44 clips. I'd ask for whatever.
No, she wants it shown to court because they want to use clips from the interview where she most likely will admit she was drunk. Those interviews, someone said, I can't see it's a problem. It's going to be a problem because the jury really wanted to get her on the OUI, and she talks a lot about how much she drank in her interviews. They're going to play that, and they're probably going to play that snippet where she said, I hit him, or which is taken out of context. So that's why she wants that played, to make sure they're not going to unnecessary paint her in a bad light.
Prejudice.
Prejudice, yeah. So that's it. And
Well,
it doesn't matter. Everyone was drunk. Only Karen Read is on the trial here. So
Yeah.
again, the whole town could have been drunk, high, out of their minds on shrooms. Only Karen Read is charged with a crime, and that's the problem.
fair point.
Yes, if they're going to use demonstratives, I've seen it before. Yes, there have been rulings about you're not allowed to show the body, you're not allowed to show weapons in opening statements to not prejudice against the defendant. He has 44 pages of Photoshop.
Whatever they intend to actually use in their opening, so we can look at it for.
I think that's what they just said. They're just going to
yes,
give
we'll
you.
give them the file name and if the court takes a recess, we'll give them the file
Yes,
name.
I'd like to do that just in case there's an objection, or I can bring you all back tomorrow or Friday, and I don't really want to do that to you. So,
No, because
right, so
Mo
I
has
want
to
you to
do that either.
watch all
Yeah.
okay,
hearings
so that
tomorrow.
sort of also covers, I guess, the the Commonwealth's motion regarding the use of extrajudicial statements. If you hang on while I grab that. Is there an objection to that motion?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
Can I make a note?
Yes,
So
please.
the defense, I'm sure, is aware, but I want to point out as part of that motion, we're asking to have an independent reader, someone who is not an officer or involved in this case. I don't expect there'll be any emphasis or drama in the presentation
Okay.
of text messages, but I think an independent reader is fairer, more objective, and we'd like to have that independent reader take the stand at times throughout the case when we want to introduce certain text messages that don't
What?
involve a participant.
All right. How are you going to find this person?
But we could have somebody plainclothes from the state police, or we could find somebody that's agreeable to the defense. But I think it would be best if we have an independent reader who's available throughout the trial to
What? Plain clothes from the state police? Get out of here, bro.
No drama. Hey, John, motherfucker, why the hell aren't you here? I'm gonna live you. Oh, sorry, I misread that. Sorry. I'm gonna. Oh, you son of a bitch.
Wow.
Well, but it
That-
also takes away the impact of this coming from people who are supposed to be professional. It's obfuscating that fact. Again, it's pointing to a weakness in the state's case. If you have to hide things, if you have to obfuscate things, if you have to shade things to make your case look better, what is wrong with your case? I mean, if I'm a juror or I'm someone objectively watching this case, and this points to a weak case to me.
We're not going to grab anyone. He just wants to have a reader of text messages throughout the trial, which I don't understand why. First of all, we saw it in the Daddy Dom case. Mo really liked reading those messages. But why should he
Yeah.
be allowed to sit there? He can show it on the screen and say, and then because when he wants someone to come in and say, I'm going to read the John O'Keefe part. Hey, babe, I just woke up. I'm hungover. Are you going to come drink with me tonight? I'm having a guy look at my boy. Sorry. I'm having a guy looking at my boiler. Oh, I hope I'd see you. You would come here for the weekend. Well, I have to fix my furnace. Because you can kind of imply that she was mad in that way. Why is he allowed to read all of this BS? We saw it in the first trial, and now he wants someone to act it out. It's just ridiculous. Hey, Freeway Goat.
Hey, Freeway Goat.
Play that role.
Okay,
Play that role.
yes.
It's
Not
the
read
text
those
messages,
messages.
probably where Karen Reed is very angry at John. You don't have to say sorry. We are all infuriated. Oh, can we get yeah, we should have Yamaha Biker read it. He has a good reading voice.
Yes, he does.
He does.
Hey, John, where are you?
I do like how he said play that role.
Oh,
Not
but can I
read
say
those texts,
someone's
read those
coming to
messages.
fix my boiler?
Not with that shirt on, you can't.
I get my boiler fixed for free with this shirt on. I'm gonna go get my oil changed. No charge.
I'm not,
Boobs. Take them everywhere.
Your Honor, thank you for the time to consult with my colleagues. I don't think we're in a position to agree or disagree at this point. I don't know exactly which text messages or which conversations are intended to be independently read. At the last trial, they simply came in through the person that found the text messages. Mr. Lally asked, I think, Mr. Garino, I can't remember his first name, Mr. Garino to recite the messages from both sides, and that was done pretty effectively and expeditiously. But unless I know more about exactly what the theater of having an independent reader is going to be like, I can't really weigh in.
Go ahead.
May I?
Yes.
Wherever there's a witness involved in the conversation, if those text messages are admissible, it would come in through the witness. Text messages between Mr. O'Keefe and the defendant, there is no author of those. And so we will introduce those text messages, the admissible ones, at different parts in the trial when they become relevant. So it's not sufficient to simply have a state police officer who is not a witness to those text messages to come in and read them continuously through the trial.
Of course it is. It's done in every other case. Why
Right.
should they have an actor come in and read these text messages? It makes no sense. You have the officer who saw these text messages and on that basis thought Karen Reed was guilty.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm Baker. I'm here to fix the cable. But again, there's no reason you need someone. Trooper Carino was the one who found him on the phone. He was the one who said, "Hey, look, you better look at these. You better look at these text messages. It paints a very bad picture of their relationship." He can read them and say, "Yeah, I thought they were suspicious." You don't need to have Andrea Lansbury come in and read it for you. This is again BS.
Well, and it also is one more witness for the jury to have to, integrate that knowledge from. If they put the text messages in by the officer that saw them and said, "Hey, this looks like suspiciosis," that makes sense. Again, you are struggling against people that have a shortened attention span. You are trying to keep them involved and, caring about the case. You want to deliver your information expeditiously and easily. And having one more person is just going to be one more person. Again, it really, I don't know if lawyers don't anticipate juries or don't think about their case in light of juries, but they really need to start doing that because some of the ways they present cases, it's unimaginably difficult and complicated to put it together.
And I think Manda is right. He just don't and Rage Crochet. No, it wasn't Rage. Someone else. They just don't want these troopers up there so they can be cross-examined. So the more they can keep off and have an independent reader, the better it is. Because Garino missed 10,000 communications between Sarah Birdsmore and that a-hole who will hopefully fry for what he did to her.
Mr. Guarino is an independent witness in this case. To bring him back regularly as a police officer, I think creates the wrong impression. I think objectively, we can have somebody come in who simply reads those text messages when they're appropriate to introduce.
I would disagree gently with Mr. Brennan. That's exactly what the proper protocol is. If Mr. Guarino is the one who found, he's a state trooper, he found the text messages. He was the one who downloaded the data. He was asked about those text messages previously. I think having him come back, and it doesn't matter how many times he comes back, he's paid by the state. He can come back 5 times or 1 time. But to have somebody else come in or other individuals come in to act as readers, I think that is not in keeping with the ordinary course of presentation of the evidence. It just doesn't make sense to me to have a reader come in. It seems to add a theater to the text messages that are inappropriate. I don't know who these individuals would be. And the text messages are admissible because they're statement of a party opponent, and the other is the context of the statement of the party opponent. So I don't see any reason to change the protocol that we had last time.
All right. If I were to allow an independent reader, do you have a male and a female? Or would it be a male reading a female's responses?
I haven't identified anybody, but I can get a male and a female.
All right.
And that's exactly what we don't want. I think that's inappropriate. It's not going to be Mr. O'Keefe, and it's not going to be Ms. Reed. The text messages speak for themselves. The jurors should be able to analyze the words that are on the page, the text messages as they were written and drafted, not the inflections and the repartee between 2 independent people with motives that may or may not be consistent with the text messages. As we all know, it's a very, very different circumstance to have a text message communication with someone and have a conversation with someone, for instance, telephonically or verbally. People talk about it all the time. Things get lost in text messages. Having them read by a state trooper who found them.
So it can be perhaps not a state trooper. That's all. It's I understand.
You don't need that.
No.
It's a text message. What have you missed? Brennan lying again, and Chloe. He's not allowed to say it wasn't Chloe who bit. That's what you lost so far, and him lying, and lying some more.
Well,
Stood it to be.
yeah. Oh, sorry. I was just saying, yeah.
To take out all infliction and completely that.
Right. I heard Mr. Brennan say the same thing. I don't know that that's actually what's going to happen. And this lends itself to sort of a theatrical presentation that's completely unnecessary and could be incredibly objectionable. And then once it's done, it's done.
All right. I will consider it.
There'll be no inflection. That would be inappropriate.
Thank you.
How can he?
All right. Defendant's motion for specific discovery, paper 638, Jimmy. All right. Who's arguing it?
Yes, that's me, Judge. Good morning. Before court today, Mr. Brennan and I conferred, and I think we've largely reached agreement. The only numbered items on which we do not agree are
Brandon, you sat through the first 10 weeks of this trial. Yes.
3 and 4, which are related. I will say as a preface that we are withdrawing request number 8. And with regard to request number 7, we've agreed on the following language, Judge, which I would read into the record. Number 7 would be any indication of a witness willing to change testimony in exchange for any consideration. With that, I would ask the court to allow the motion. With regard to 3 and 4, I believe that we should receive information if there's a witness who has expressed to the Commonwealth either a refusal or a reluctance to testify in this matter or to cooperate in any way.
Okay. There's no authority for that in Rule 14, correct?
We believe that it's consistent with Rule 14, which is why we've made the request.
Okay. Where in Rule 14 or the reporter's notes?
Relevant and discoverable. It applies to a witness's credibility, motives, intent, and that's the basis on which we make the request.
Okay. I'll hear from the Commonwealth.
Number 5? Yes. With regard to number 5, we also talked about modifying the language. Mr. Brennan had taken it down for us. Any information of any witness regarding promises, inducements, or rewards to that witness.
Okay. Mr. Brennan, regarding 3 and 4, what's the Commonwealth's position?
Your Honor, that does not go to motive or credibility. It is not within Rule 14, should not be discoverable. It's irrelevant. It doesn't show any bias on behalf of the witness if they had any reluctance or concerns about testifying. I have been very broad in my agreements regarding discovery. Anything that is Rule 14, exculpatory, even their specific requests, which extend beyond Rule 14, I am more than happy to give them. But I think 3 and 4 are personal, irrelevant, and have nothing to do with bias or credibility.
Okay, thank you. All right. The ARCA witnesses, motions regarding that. So where do you stand, Mr. Brennan, with what has been provided and what you might think has not been provided?
There are 2 issues. There is the discovery that we have requested in the past. At this point, I stand unsatisfied with that discovery production. And then secondly, there is the limitations that should be imposed upon ARCA based on what has been provided pursuant to reciprocal discovery. I'd like to start with the second part, and that is we have a little chronology. December 5th, 2024, we submitted docket 442, Commonwealth's motion for reciprocal discovery, which was allowed by the court. There were a number of other motions which led to March 27, 2025, docket 640, Commonwealth's motion to compel reciprocal discovery of ARCA witnesses or to exclude their testimony. And then the next day, on March 28, 2025, the defense responded with docket 642, which was a response to docket 442. And so what we were looking for, not only Rule 14, but more specifically our discovery motion, was information from ARCA that would make clear the relationship between the ARCA witnesses and the defense back from its inception. It is important because that information, a thorough vetting of the information, may be a basis for the Commonwealth to inquire of these ARCA witnesses, if they're called, about candor, truthfulness, and full disclosure. And so while we've received some answers to our questions, we want a full vetting of that history. On a prior date, the court suggested that perhaps we could have a voir dire, not regarding their qualifications, but regarding.
Is she still harping on about, oh, they didn't disclose to us that they were paid $24,000 for 2 experts for 2 days, inclusive travel, food, room and board, which is peanuts. And he's going to ride this train straight into hell to try and get ARCA out because he knows if ARCA's not out, his case is BS.
Has Bev shown any leanings towards getting ARCA out? I know there was a big blow up about ARCA and some
No,
of this
not
stuff.
really. She's just she tried to get Alan Jackson off the case, but then found out that Brennan lied. Unbrought Saucy, hey Baker and all, been lurking, listening in bed. Thank you for 14 months and enjoy bed.
Yes.
Regarding this very issue about the relationship between the witnesses and the defense. That is one viable option. My concern specifically is if they are subject to a voir dire the day before their testimony, they're traveling from out of state, and they will not have with them documents and other items which are necessary for the Commonwealth's review and likely used during the examination. And so if the court was to maintain there would be a voir dire the day before the hearing, I would ask for an order from the court to order ARCA to bring the discovery that was ordered in the Commonwealth's discovery motion back on December 5th, 2024. The response by the defense, a large part of it is that it's not within their custody or control. And so these items, I expect, would be in the custody and control of these ARCA witnesses. There are a number of...
They got more than $500,000 from the feds. Those 24,000, you couldn't get ARCA to look at anything for 24,000. It's room and board and payment for salary for 2 experts. We learned in the Turk case that one expert got, was it $5.45 an hour? Imagine how much an ARCA guy gets.
Well, yeah, and if all your upsetness is that you didn't get, there is a subpoena. I think a subpoena Ducas Tecum. I always want to call it Ducas Nukem, where you can compel someone to bring their standards and procedures, kind of their operating sort of, work product. I learned that in the Darrell Brooks case. I am almost a third-party intervener, but you can compel someone to bring in sort of work product, but you do have to put a subpoena in. Now, as a twice college dropout and a person who just watches trials, why do I know that and he doesn't?
Well, it's not that he wants it. He wants he wants communications between the lawyer and ARCA to prove that they changed their statement to fit the case. That's kind of what he's implying. Because there was a communication that wasn't disclosed. That communication was, hey, can we talk about tomorrow? Yeah, what do you need? Do you need my CV or what do you want? Yeah, that'll be fine. And then they had a voir dire where they asked all the questions he claims he didn't get answers to. Again, you will hate this guy just before this day ends. You will hate him with a passion. And as much of a passion like I hate Panera Bread.
Specific items which we sought in our discovery motions. Those items include communications, billing, emails, text messages, etc. And so those documents, if we do not obtain them in advance or the day before the witnesses are set to testify, we will never have an opportunity to send them home to get the materials that are relevant. So if the defense position is not in their custody and control, then I ask the court to order the ARCA witnesses to provide that information prior to the voir dire so that we can review it. Secondly, the defense has provided that they have retained the ARCA witnesses independently. We have received no new discovery other than communications and emails. What is concerning is that in the notice from the defense, there is some suggestion about the ARCA witnesses potentially rebutting or commenting on Mr. Welch's testimony. Discovery deadlines have passed some time ago. It would be
You just turned in discovery 2 days ago, idiot.
inappropriate at this point.
He
to have
wasn't
any new
talking about
opinions,
that
any new
discovery.
information, any new
Oh, the
reports.
other discovery.
We have been
Yeah.
steadfast from the beginning of this
Yeah.
case, early on, about discovery deadlines. And so my expectation is if the ARCA witnesses testify, they would be required to testify pursuant to the February 12, 2024 report, and they would not be able to provide any further opinions, any further ideas, or any further reports. So the two things, to simplify it, that I'm looking for is for the court to have that voir dire, again, for a limited purpose, to order ARCA witnesses to comply with the discovery order that the court has already imposed, and to have ARCA limited to the discovery that was properly provided before the discovery deadlines. Those are my three requests.
God, I can't stand him.
Oh, he's such a a-hole. Say him a new one.
I want to go in reverse order briefly, if I could, concerning the discovery deadlines. We have continued to receive new notices of discovery from the Commonwealth well after the same deadlines that Mr. Brennan is now bringing up concerning ARCA. They filed their notice of completion or certificate of completion long ago, and we have consistently received new information from their experts, new reports, amended reports, redacted reports, additional information. Both sides understand that discovery is an ongoing situation, sometimes out of our control. To that point, on March 26, 2025, we received for the first time official notice from the United States Attorney's Office and the Department of Justice that we, the defense, or either side, the Commonwealth as well, were free to engage ARCA directly as expert witnesses in this case. On that same day, we contacted the Commonwealth. Actually, the very next day, we contacted the Commonwealth and provided them information that we would be and had engaged them. We've provided the engagement agreement. We've provided them with all discovery that we have appropriate there too. And insofar as, or to the extent that any additional testing and or analysis is completed by those experts, because keep in mind, it's only been, we can count it in days that we've actually been able to engage them. If there is in fact additional testing and or analysis that is noteworthy, then we will, or that we intend to use, we will obviously provide that to the Commonwealth forthwith, which we indicated in our moving papers. We will maintain that posture throughout. And if there is additional information to be disclosed, it will be disclosed. It will be disclosed in a timely manner. We do not have anything as yet as we stand here today, but we.
What do you think a timely manner is? What ballpark are you talking?
When I get a report, I will turn it over the same day. If I get a report, I will turn it over the same day. If I get a new analysis, I will turn it over the same day. If we get new testing results, we will turn those over the same day that we get them. In other words, I can't control the conduct of the experts. They may or may not be engaging in additional testing or analysis, but if they are, once I get it, we'll turn it over. So that's all I can say to that. We're not holding anything back. We're not hiding anything. We're, as soon as we get something, if we get it, to the extent that there is additional analysis or testing done, that will be turned over forthwith. With regard to docket number 642, we did, Your Honor, I don't want to waste the court's time. We did respond in detail to every single one of the 12 requests that
most of them are pro se. The rest of it is by selling her house, by using all her parents' money, and no pro se, pro bono. And for the Free Karen Read fundraiser that has raised, I think, like $500,000 now, she has put herself probably in lifelong debt to free her name. And these assholes just keep going.
The Commonwealth has made. I'm happy to go through those if the court wishes me to, but
Hold on one second. Mr. Brennan, are there specifics that you say are still outstanding of the 13 or however many points they were? Because this is on what you filed. So this is not unusual. A party says, we asked for all 13, another party says, we gave them to you, and then the party says, I don't have them. Can we narrow this? Is there anything specifically that Mr. Jackson should address?
Yes. Their response is that it's not in their custody control.
So for which ones? Which of your numbers?
Which?
Number
Junior.
one, a complete statement of all
Specifically.
opinions to be expressed by Daniel Wolf.
Okay.
And their response is the information in the possession, custody, and control of the defense has already been produced. That obviously understates the fact that they would hope to have new opinions. That is the very point that this is not responsive. Their discovery deadline has passed. And so I would like to talk about or respond after Attorney Jackson is done about what is going to evolve from this conversation. This is exactly what I was worried about back in November, what I expected might happen and should not have happened. So it's difficult now to parse the different pieces of my discovery request, but we do not have all the billing, all the communications, all the text messages, all the emails between the parties. And if the defense's position is not in their custody control, well, it's certainly in the custody control of ARCA. We do not have all prior reports, all prior testing, all field testing, photographs, pictures. We don't even know who was what part of this report.
Okay.
And so my tolerance about this ongoing development of discovery is a extraordinary problem for me. This is the number one issue I anticipated and that I've tried to prevent.
Okay. So address number one, Mr.
the
Jackson.
number one issue that Mr. Brennan has anticipated and tried to prevent is ARCA testifying. Let's just call it.
Address number one, please.
That's what I'm doing, Your Honor. We have provided on April
Mr. Jackson.
12th about 1,000 pages, additional pages,
I love AJ.
responsive to the request specific to ARCA. The response that we provided to request number one is as follows. The information in the possession, custody, and control of the defense has already been produced and can be found in the ARCA report, the voir dire testimony, and the trial testimony of Dr. Wolf and Dr. Rentschler. That is specifically in response to request number one. What we have, they have. Mr. Brennan constantly stands up and says, we don't have all the emails, we don't have all the communications, et cetera. They have everything. We've already turned that over. There is nothing that we have not turned over that's in our possession. With regard to the new information that Mr. Brennan says, this is exactly what I was worried about, et cetera. We could not engage these experts until we got permission from the Department of Justice. The federal government had to give us permission. They gave both sides permission on March 26th, 2025. We immediately, Your Honor, as best we could, leapt into action to contact ARCA and engage them formally so that they could.
If you didn't hear what he said what he wants is to keep ARCA out, and but he has everything. That's what he said.
Act as experts for the defense in this case in furtherance of potential testimony moving forward. We do not have additional testing results. We do not have additional analysis. We do not have additional reports or findings as yet because it's only been a few days. If we get those, we will turn those over immediately. And that's all we can be expected to do. If the court wishes to go through the others, it's listed as 13, but there's actually 12 requests. I'm happy to do that. If the court's satisfied with.
I had a question. It was my question last time when they testified. It wasn't clear to me who did what each witness did regarding testing, preparation, things that are normal cross-examination. Is that clarified any better? They said we. They talked about we did this, we did that.
Well, I would disagree with that. Dr. Rentschler talked about what he did, which was more on the biological side.
There was a difference between the
and
two.
Dr. Wolf talked about what he did on the mechanical side. They did discuss what their individual or their specific capacity was and their expertise. We have not received any additional report to that effect. Everything that is in the report is exactly what the Commonwealth received at the same time that the defense received it. And it's exactly what they testified to both in the voir dire and in the trial. There's no clarification that we haven't asked for clarification. If there is clarification in any new analyses, that will be turned over immediately as well.
Is there anything that they're going to say they cannot provide because of the federal investigation?
Not to my knowledge. I don't know. I haven't asked them if there's communications that Mr. Brennan is asking for that they can't provide. I haven't asked them that because I've not deigned to.
Can we consult with counsel just for a moment?
Sure.
I wish Karen had softened up her look a little more.
Right.
She actually looks. These 2 years have really taken a toll on her, and you can understand
Well,
why.
yeah.
But I also
Oh,
think
yeah.
that the court TV should take their camera and not point it at defendants, because
Yeah.
they will get her. Right now, she's in a thoughtful state because she's thinking, what the hell's going on? And not thinking about, oh, I'm on camera, so I better do the.
Well, there's no win when you're a defendant. If you cry, it's fake tears. If you're stoic, you're heartless. Everyone's going to judge. When Johnny Depp was doing, pictures because he had to look at Ava Braun's twin, people all had comments. So I don't think there's a win, but I do think that court TV is liable to get in trouble if they keep, showing her. I think the defense is very on top of her optics, and they will object. And we're going to be listening to this by audio, and I can't, y'all.
Yeah. She could be dreaming of a toilet right now. Brandon, why? I wanted to pull it up because I thought, okay, Brandon is going to say, well, she looks a little bit haggard because she does have a few diseases that she has to fight at the same time as she's in the most stressful position of her life. And then Brandon turns around and completely redeems himself.
Ms. Lou I was getting to the point, but she emphasized, and I will emphasize it here, the one thing that the U.S. government has said to both the Commonwealth and to us is, in furtherance of their testimony, in furtherance of their engagement, they still are not allowed to detail confidential communications that they had with the U.S. government, with the Department of Justice.
But can they testify as to what they did?
Yes, that is on.
Can they testify under what direction they?
Bev was too busy doing
They
this.
can certainly testify to what they did. Absolutely, that is on the table. Every bit of testing, every bit of analysis.
But why they did it?
What their communications were, what their
Ken
directives
and
were.
Daddy.
That is.
I need a voir dire in my
Can I see counsel
office.
talk about this?
Sidebar.
Why are
It's
you
a
doing a sidebar? There's no jury in there.
Because we are not allowed to hear it because it can be leaked, and then the jury potentially could hear it.
Okay.
And
Can the
I don't
defense
get-
bring?
Why is this? Isn't this his girlfriend from one day 20 years ago? Why is she in
John
court?
O'Keefe?
Yeah.
Okay.
That Catherine chick.
Here's another question. To show that Bev is incompetent, both of the experts clearly delineated what they did. In fact, explained their expertise and why and how they used it to do their part. Bev was not paying attention to that point. Can't we get her for cognitive decline?
No, she's super there. Where's Doink? Doink, he actually was pulled for the jury duty, but then Machado was put on as an alternate, and then he can't be there because she has a restraining order on him because he attacked her outside of court.
Well, he had the munchies. Couldn't find Cheetos.
All right, so Mr. Jackson, you're saying that the ACCA witnesses did not do anything, did not read anything, did not consult anything, did not try any additional experiments or come to any findings other than everything that's in that report?
That is correct. That's
Aiden was at home and was told he had to be in court by 11. He was told that at 10:15 he lives an hour from court because they're going to talk about his sequestration. So Aiden was at home, not in court. And then he was told, Jim finally called his lawyer and said, oh, by the way, Aiden better be here by 11 because we're going to talk about him. So he had to rush to the courthouse and end his stream, or not start his stream, because no one had notified his lawyer that they wanted him there by 11.
Shocking.
What we've been told, we have no reason to believe otherwise. Everything that they did, everything they were asked to do, and all the data that they were provided upon which to base their opinions and conclusions is provided in the report. And
You can be invited by the family, or you can be a member of the media pool, but you'll have to have a press pass, I think.
that and was all subject to cross-examination, both at the voir dire and at trial.
All right, and then subsequent to that, information was provided by Mr. Yannetti. And you have that all documented, whatever information the ACRA authorities now are working on is information provided by Mr. Yannetti or his file?
So there's two issues. I want to make sure I don't
They have that 200 feet anti-First Amendment zone.
like these. Mr. Brennan mentioned a subpoena that Mr. Yannetti had received at his office.
Mr. Yannetti had brought it up in open court.
Correct. That subpoena was honored, as we had to, obviously, as Mr. Yannetti had to honor it. For every single NOD that we got from the Commonwealth, that was then submitted to the federal authorities.
When was that done?
It was done periodically since the subpoena came into his desk.
When did it start?
I don't remember the days.
Why is it
September 1st,
important?
2022.
Thank you.
I didn't remember the specific date, but it was very early.
They had
on.
to
So
apply
the
by a
Department of Justice or the U.S. Attorney's
subpoena.
Office was receiving information pursuant to that subpoena in an ongoing basis. But I want to make clear that's not information that was then going to ARCA. The U.S. Attorney's Office decided what information, and the FBI decided what information to supply to ARCA
Do you
to
know?
answer their questions.
Do you know what information was provided?
Yes, it's in the report. There
Oh,
were
it is.
14 categories of items that were provided to ARCA, and they said that's all that we were provided.
All right, so then it's accurate to say items that are in the notice.
They do have a bigger courtroom. That's the one we saw Dr. Turk in. But remember the first trial, they found out that you couldn't see the witnesses from the last two rows on the right in the jury box.
Of discovery that ARCA does not list were not provided to them?
Correct. That's exactly right.
Okay.
Yeah, they were provided a very narrow, it was a narrow scope of work, if you will, that did not include the myriad things that we were getting in NODs.
All right, then
from
you
September
started
2022.
providing them information to fill in those gaps, right?
Once we received information from Dr. Welcher, for instance, we knew that we wanted at least to explore the idea of rebutting some of that information, from a biomechanic standpoint, and we wanted them to have basically a mirror image of what Dr. Welcher was provided.
All right, so when
that's
did you
what we
do?
provided to them.
When did you do that?
I want to say March 26th or 27th. I think it's in motion. Just take a quick look.
So she didn't read the motion again.
Additional discovery
She's
evidence
such
was
a
reviewed on March
bad
26th,
judge.
2025. That same day, the defense was provided all the additional materials to ARCA, including Dr. Welcher's reports and all of his findings, including the 140-page PowerPoint, et cetera. We wanted them to have everything that Dr. Welcher had, as well as Dr. Welcher's reports and findings.
All right, and you say that you will have that, you expect in the next 3 days or so.
Oh,
You
I
said-
didn't say 3 days. I said I think we can count it in days, not weeks. So I would expect if there is something that we're going to receive, it's probably in the next week or 10 days, I would guess.
All right.
We are acting as efficiently as we possibly can, but we can only do so much, given the fact that we were only provided access to hire ARCA on March 26th.
All right, Mr. Brennan, I'll hear you.
This is the very issue I've been concerned about since the beginning of this case. And I've
God, I
made
hate him.
every effort
I hate him so
to
much.
alert the court that I had a concern. In fact, that I anticipated this very thing would happen. When I began,
That they rebut your stupid witness. Yeah, they're allowed to do
Yeah.
that.
Oh God, I hate him.
That's exactly it. You predicted this because this is exactly how it should happen, you dumbass.
Yeah.
It's not that they're doing anything dirty or shady. You are by implying that they're doing something dirty and shady.
They had access to the same damn report. It's not. Was Bev watching the first trial? Because again, the experts clearly delineated their, parts of the project. This has been in a report. Jackson just said in not so many words that, everything we are putting out is in this report. Nothing new. He said it a bajillion times. And this guy's like, we don't have discovery. This is the same thing I was worried about, Mom.
Yeah, the only new thing they have is the discovery that he turned over on March 26th that's Wednesday 2 weeks ago. They turned that over to ARCA and said, hey, can you rebut this guy? They haven't turned over a report to the defense yet, so he couldn't give it to them. Oh, this is exactly what I talked about. This is called rebuttal witnesses. It happens every effing time.
In this case, beginning of October, end of September, my first analysis was of the past history of this case and dropping experts and information during trial. My attempt was never to preclude ARCA from testifying, never. But it was to preclude the defense from trying this case.
Shut up, you idiot. The only thing you have been trying is to kick ARCA out. The only thing you have done, because you know ARCA is detrimental to your case. You're such a freaking liar.
Case by ambush. And it was my primary concern. And that is why I filed motions from the beginning of this case. Your Honor must remember, I was filing notices of intention, notices anticipating, things that are not routine because I knew this very thing would happen. We had ARCA witnesses where I still do not believe we have had full disclosure. Regardless of whose fault it is, I still do not believe we have full disclosure. Not just for the basis of opinion, but regarding communications between the defense and ARCA. That's why I filed this motion for discovery. And when the defense responds it's not in their possession of control, that's why these ARCA witnesses who've made representations to this court about not knowing the defense and the limited interaction with the defense, they need to be held accountable. That information should come directly from the ARCA witnesses if the defense can't or won't produce it. I believe there will be information that ARCA has if you order them to bring in all of their communications, email, phone call records, billing, and text messages. And if it exists, I would like to see it. I think I'm entitled. The ARCA witnesses provided a report that blurs the roles of the parties. I can live with that. I can accept that. The ARCA witnesses provide a report does not have a lot of information about their study and notes. I can accept that because I have prepared for it. But what I haven't prepared for is for the defense to wait until the last minute, then move for a tour request, which they know will take time, then provide information to ARCA on the eve of opening statements, and then expect to come in with new opinions and information and reports after we've already given an opening statement. It's not only trial by ambush. It not only takes away the Commonwealth's ability and right to prepare, it creates a disadvantage.
Before I lose my mind, there will be 1 or 2 experts from the Commonwealth sat in the court or in an adjoining room watching the entire trial, probably an expert on dog bites, biomechanics, hardness of ground, who will then be brought in as a rebuttal witness, who didn't deliver any report because they need to know what your expert is saying before they rebut it. This is, I hope Bev, she won't. She should say, I won't allow it. Brennan, you know how we do in Massachusetts. Rebuttal witnesses are there to rebut statements made in court.
It shows a lack of control on her part. This is a tone he is using almost as whining. And again, if this has already been settled, if this is all in the report, if he has gotten everything, then this issue is done and you will put it down. As a judge, I would not deal with this. If this has been settled, if the defense gave you all of this. Now, here's my issue with if exculpatory evidence comes in during the case, that still can come in. If there's like a miracle witness that comes in and says, I saw Karen Reed and John went in the house, out of the blue, that's allowed. It's not trial by ambush. It's simply allowing exculpatory evidence to come in. The defense is allowed to do that. I mean,
well, I think a surprise eyewitness would probably be different.
I mean, like, I was pulling something out of my behind.
Yeah.
Say Chloe came up and she's like, didn't do it. Didn't do it. They made me.
I agree with Swoopy. All he wants is emails. He just wants private communications. That's all he's whining about.
But he is allowed to have work product and communications. They given this to him. Now he's mad that he want to rebut his expert, but he didn't turn over his expert's product till March 26th. And then he again changed his expert's product because they said, hey, Brennan, you're supposed to make this smaller. And he went from 144 pages of photo, what it's called?
PowerPoint.
PowerPoint to 140 pages. Then they filed a new motion saying, idiot, make it shorter. It's now 44 pages long. They are there to rebut it if they can. It's a rebuttal witness to Dr. Welcher. It's 100% cromulent. He can then bring back Dr. Welcher to say, the ARCA guys testified that I was a blind bat flying right into the K-wall, which remind me, at the gym today, we have a outside area where you can sit and enjoy the sun. And the two girls were going out there, and one of them was a little talkative, and she just slammed into one of the windows that wasn't open. She became really small, but I did the little Baker laugh.
Sleuthy Goosey is absolutely right. He's looking for
Sleuthy
communication
Goosey is
that he can.
absolute expert, so she is of course right.
awesome sauce.
Well, no,
He's looking for a
looking
communication that he can get AJ in trouble with, because AJ
Yeah.
was on the hot seat and testified that he's turned over every single communication. So all Brendan needs is like an extra hello message, an extra reach out, and that's all he's looking for. That's it.
Yeah, because he's wanting her to make ARCA turn over all of their information. So if they, one extra little piece of paper that says, "Hey,"
that's all.
Well,
he's
it
looking for.
also shows
yesterday.
great fear. I mean,
Brendan, stop the hate.
if he filed preemptive motions to try to discredit ARCA, it really shows exactly where his fear is in this case, and it's against data. And if you don't have facts, then you're going to whine about the fact that you don't have a text message. Sir, it's not our fault that women won't text you. That's a you problem.
Are we sure he's looking for women to text him?
Yeah.
He might be on Binger's
There's
side. You're right.
rumors out there. I don't want to bring them, but let's just say someone might not only
Rumors.
be doing legal aid.
Goodness gracious.
Julio, still easy on the eyes. Well, thank you. I'm
don't
happy.
think she was
I got
talking
a
to you,
haircut.
buddy.
No one noticed, but that's okay.
I don't think she was talking to you.
Advantage that information and argument is already made to the jury without complete information that they should have had. They could have retained any expert they wanted. They didn't have to wait for ARCA witnesses. They've had 3 years. They could have retained any accident reconstructions they wanted, but they waited. They moved with a TUI letter on February 7, 2025. Anybody with experience, including the defense, knows it takes time. If they really wanted the ARCA witnesses, they could have moved in November. We gave Judd Welch's CV in November. We met our discovery deadlines, and they were hard. There was more we would have done or wanted to do, but we couldn't because we honored our obligations to the court.
You absolutely.
The discovery order.
Let him finish.
We provided the discovery pursuant to the orders so that they would be held to the same standard. And now we hear they waited until February 7th, 2025 for a tour request. And now they're giving new information to ARCA to come back and potentially give new opinions that we have no ability for our experts to evaluate. We have no ability for our experts to then go through and conduct more testing. This is the core of preparing for the case. They had that obligation. And so now to allow them to do this, it's not an aberration. This is a continued pattern from the last trial. They have their ARCA witnesses, they have their report. That is all pursuant to the discovery deadlines. To now let them change the rules and come in tomorrow, the next day, or 10 days from now and have new opinions after we've already told the jury our theory and our science and not have a chance to rebut it or consider it. I'll have no time during trial to sit down with the experts and assign them to review new information, new reports.
Sounds
I'll
like
have
a
no
you
time to go
problem.
back and reconsider the order of witnesses or the information we need or witnesses that we've decided we don't need in this case and scheduling. If it wasn't so obvious this was going to happen, I wouldn't be so upset about it. At some
You're such a lying effing fool. Carly Kramer, do they have all communications between the Commonwealth and their witnesses? They should have, because that's Rule 14. And Brady, they probably don't, because they are smart enough to meet in person and say, there's no memo of that. And Brandon says, imagine the smexy talk between Brennan and Binger. And thank you, FD Food Fairies, for the...
birth control works. That there kills any lady boner I ever had.
And I got some milk duds. Yeah, and Jamie just bit Slip Baker.
Well, I don't want to listen to this man any longer than I have
be held to
to.
the
Come
same
on.
standard of discovery obligation. This isn't late notice. This isn't parachuting in. This is an effort they decided to make and wait until February 7th, 2025. Your Honor, I ask you to allow ARCA to testify, allow them to testify to their report, be confined to the report that has met discovery deadlines, and to produce the request that the court ordered regarding discovery of the information that we want. That's what I asked this court to do.
Your Honor, what appears to be feigned indignation is just not consistent with the facts. We didn't receive Judd Welcher's report until basically February 2025. We received a report, I think it was January 31st, 2025, and we read it for the first time the next day on February 1st. Nobody's been dragging their feet. There is no ambush. This feigned indignation is just not consistent with the facts, Your Honor. The court hadn't ruled that we could even use ARCA until just a few weeks ago. We've been moving expeditiously to try to rebut a witness that the Commonwealth disclosed in February of 2025. By mid-March, we asked for a two-week request. We asked for a two-week permission, or asked permission to engage them through a two-week request. That does take time. We did it expeditiously. We weren't waiting for some advantage. As soon as we got the request approved, we immediately, that day, engaged them, and immediately that same day, provided the Commonwealth notice that we had engaged them, and we intend to use them to, at the very least, to address Judd Welcher's testimony or his reports, the last iteration of which we got on March 24th. So if you want to talk about dates and chronology, what's good for the goose should be equally good for the gander. Mr. Brennan has been consistently providing us with new discovery after his certificate of compliance has been well done, the ink is well dry. We have a right, we have an obligation to address and to meet his new discovery. For instance, Judd Welcher's opinions and conclusions, with rebuttal opinions and conclusions, if we can. And I want to make sure that we're not conflating two separate issues. One is the information that ARCA had outside of any of our control. Nobody in this courtroom could have reasonably controlled what information they had.
But you did say that's all listed in the report and there's nothing more.
I was just about to say, the communications that they had with U.S. Attorney's Office, I don't have any access to that. That's confidential. But I do know what they provided to them for their analysis. That is all listed in the report. And both sides have had that from the day we received the reports, the federal disclosures. Both sides have had those. So nobody was in any disadvantage in the first trial, and certainly nobody's at a disadvantage in this trial. We're simply trying to meet our obligations as we could within the confines of the rules that were set up in no small part by the federal government. And now those strictures have largely been lifted, and we're moving forward as expeditiously as we possibly can.
Rather than addressing their obligations, it's always an attempt to assign blame. The government or the Commonwealth gave us late disclosures. The changes in Judd Welcher's PowerPoint were by exclusion. Attorney Alisi had concerns about certain things in the report, so we took things out of the report. There's a difference.
So you first provided it in November, then you're saying?
No, we provided his CV in November, and then we provided on our discovery deadlines, January 31st, 2025.
Exactly.
And then on February 5th, we provided all of the detailed background notes, references. And so we met our discovery deadlines. The changes to Mr. Welcher's report have been the complaints, understandably, about what they believed was hearsay or inadmissible. So we removed pieces. There was no new testing. There was no new reports with information changing any of the things.
But that's what Jackson just said.
According to
You didn't give it to him until January.
Who is much more facile with the facts of what's in Judd Welcher's report, that's not quite true.
Defense, I love you guys, but get to a effing microphone. Janetti does it all the time. AJ does it half the time. Go to the microphone. And Greg says, according to Turtle Boy, he never been afraid of anything in his life as much as Brennan is afraid of ARCA. Yeah, that's the thing.
If they get to explain who ARCA, if they get to explain who ARCA is, the case is done.
They won't. That has already been ruled on. They're not allowed to talk about who hired ARCA, just that there was an outside agency who hired ARCA.
Are they allowed to explain what ARCA does, who they work with, who they contract with?
They did that in the first
That's
trial.
what I thought, but I wanted to make sure there weren't any new motions that would preclude that, since I haven't been, as plugged in.
Yeah.
Trying to be smart. SMART.
And I think this is at Valhalla.
I think it's Mo. But Jude says,
Hi,
well, there you
thank
are.
you so much. A deacon in the Church of Mo. Thank you.
Unbalanced move to have Brennan only speak for 30 seconds so I can control my gag reflex. He's really getting to me again.
He every time.
If they just blurt it out, there will be an instant dismissal. They will be brought before the bar, and they would be in serious trouble because there is a motion that they couldn't do it. So I know people are saying, well, they should just say it when the case starts. That would be an instant retrial, and they don't want that.
I can't do a retrial. I can't.
No.
Although
And,
it would be fun to make thumbnails. And thank you so much, JKD Buck. That is a very big compliment. I thank you.
Can they specifically ask whether or not they were hired by insurance? I'm pretty sure they can't. As the motion is, they're not allowed to talk about who hired them. And then you can say, well, inclusion or exclusion like Brennan does with dogs. But I'm pretty sure she would object from the bench and say, move on, Mr. Jackson. T-Rex, I'm just glad the TPO between Jamie and Valhalla finally expired.
Me too.
Yeah.
And Mr. Brennan just admitted that February 5th was the first time that we received all of the information from Judd Welcher. The next month, within a few weeks of that, that's when we received permission to hire ARCA. That's when we received permission to engage ARCA. That's when we provided the individuals at ARCA with everything that we had been provided just the month earlier. So there's no ambush. There's no attempt at taking an advantage vis-a-vis time. It just doesn't, the arguments just don't play, not with the facts and the chronology of what we've been doing and we're continuing to do.
All right, thank you. I think is the only thing left the motion to sequester Aidan Kearney to remove him from the sequestration order. Is that the only thing that's now left outstanding?
No, Your Honor. There's also a motion in limine that was outstanding. It's the Commonwealth's motion in limine to prohibit reference to any pending internal affairs investigations.
Yes, where do we stand with that? I thought that you were going to.
We've had a chance to review the file. If there's any statements that are relevant, we think the defense is entitled to use those statements for impeachment or cross-examination. As far as the rulings, the administrative body's rulings, that should not be permissible. It's an opinion of a third party, and then it will open the door to the explanation that those sustained findings are limited to certain conduct, but don't include other types of conduct which we would need to rebut. A third party's opinions are not admissible to impeach a witness.
The defense vehemently disagrees with that assertion. That's not the state of the law. We did provide notice to the Commonwealth of what we intended to admit at trial. The Commonwealth was conversely ordered to provide notice to the defense of what they were specifically asking to keep out. That was supposed to be done 2 weeks ago. I emailed Mr. Brennan the next day after it was due. They did not respond. I was told this morning they're seeking to exclude everything. I would like to be heard on that, Your Honor.
All right, so I don't have a copy of what it is you intend to introduce, right?
No, we provided notice to the Commonwealth.
So he just blew up and yelled and said they never turned over anything. And then he didn't turn over what he's supposed to turn over. Isn't it magical how this AWIPE always does this? I hate this guy. I hate him more than Banana Bread. And for those who don't get the joke, it's from the case in West Virginia with a guy who had brain injuries. So he hated Banana Bread with an unbridled passion. And he said that while he was at Banana Bread.
Panera.
That's the same.
Panera Bread.
I can't, just because you don't speak English, I do. And I don't know where Peter is learning to paint as a member. I think is it on my? No, it's on
me.
Mo's.
Thank you so much, Peter, a deacon in the Church of Mo. Spread the good news. We have dark chocolate sarcasm and true crime. Make your husband afraid of you. Watch Snapped all the time.
I like Banana Bread.
Banana Bread's
So
fire.
I need that. Do you have it?
I can articulate to the court. We want to admit the sustained findings that have been made against 4 separate officers in this case.
You know what? I do
Good.
need that in writing. I need this in writing. I need a Commonwealth's response.
We needed to have a ruling on this in advance of,
Excuse me?
we need to have a ruling on this in advance of Monday.
Right.
I can try to get that to you today.
All right, get it to me today. I'll decide it tomorrow.
Okay. Are we allowed to make an oral argument as to this issue? It has been briefed already by the Commonwealth.
Okay.
Um,
You know, what I need is, I wasn't expecting this here today, so what I need is
You should
the
have.
paper number. I think it's the Commonwealth's motion to exclude, but the last I had it as,
And Jason, thank you for gifting 10 memberships. And those went to Cornelius Day, Lynn Dalton, Elin, Canadian Gooner, Amy Ohio, Proud Islander, Scott B, Olivia May, Iris, let's see, the Royal We, Ann S. So thank you. Welcome to the Church of Mo. We have dark chocolate sarcasm and true crime. Please keep your audio assault weapons, those recorders at home. No cross buns for me. They gave my middle child a recorder and he has to practice 1 hour every day.
Oh,
And
no.
I'm not saying that I want to send a curse word letter to this very, very Christian school, but I'm thinking about it.
And why does she have to file a motion? It's a motion in limine, so she must have filed a motion.
Right.
So again, they didn't do their homework. And LDR says, is banana bread available at Panera Bread? Yes. I don't know.
I don't know if it is, but it should be.
It should be. And Brandon was also on the gift train, gifting 10 memberships for my channel to TD, just another Aussie, Michelle Johansson, Cannon's Baloney, sorry, Major Mom, Needle Mom, a lot of moms in here, Momo Shark, Jen in South Carolina, Jamie Skinner, and Caitlin Kirkley. And Brandon said, send your ballots in early, Brandon, for Mod of the Year. Yeah, Valhalla will not steal it this year.
Never going to happen. Never going to happen.
Did you gift yourself?
What?
Gifted himself? It must be one of his burners.
Oh.
it wasn't under advisement. You were going to figure out what the objection was and what you wanted to put in. All right, so we need to take a recess anyway so that you can look at the video to see whether there's an objection to the opening. So why don't we take a 15-minute recess? And Ms. Little, if you can provide just the paper number and what the Commonwealth's response was.
It's paper number 588.
All right.
Of course she has it. I love this lady.
She's on top of it. She's on
Yeah.
top of it.
100%.
Sir,
Recorders
not
are
a
the bomb. No, recorders should be bombed.
Nope.
They need some American freedom in their lives.
Oh, the
recorders.
Aussie one is Brandon. Well, congratulations. Welcome to the channel for... I don't know how many of your channel... I guess some of them, but it's mostly the ones who do this ritual thing. And Squat Bub became a member at...
Mo.
Oh, thank you
Mo,
for
Mo,
becoming
Mo.
a member of the Church of Mo. Sorry, my cat was trying to destroy my computer, so I was like, no, stop. The mic doesn't love you back. It's non-consensual.
Ring, 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 ring. Banana bread. Whoop dee dee doo doo doo.
We got there in the end.
So I prepared Corso in and out. What? I also like Miss Little not letting up. Yeah, I like.
Oh
her.
yeah, yeah. She's definitely
Unprepared.
grown on me.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell did you prepare with Corso?
That makes more sense.
I
now.
thought she had
Now-
prepared something and wanted to go to In-N-Out Burger.
In-N-Out does sound delicious.
I've
tried
never
it.
eaten there.
Oh, it's good.
I don't think we
As long
have
as
them
you
in
don't mind,
Indiana.
like- no, they're all like West Coast.
Oh,
And anyone who has, you have to order off the special secret menu. No, I don't want to go there.
That yes, you do. I promise you, you do. If you have,
Okay,
I
Valhalla-
promise you, you do.
I only have one test for a burger joint. Are the people smart enough when I say I would like a hamburger with mustard only to not ask me if I want cheese? Because I would have indicated that by saying a cheeseburger. I have never understood that.
I haven't been there in many, many years, but as long as you don't mind a delicious, greasy mess of a burger, they are amazing. They're so good.
No,
I had
Animal
the
style
you are
indeed.
out.
I had that. You told me once what the Baconator was called. Is it Carl's Jr. or is it the Burger King who has it? I tried
Wendy's.
that.
That's the Baconator.
Yeah, but in Denmark you can get it if you order another. I can't remember. You told me that it's either Burger
Hardee's
King or-
Hardee's and Carl's Jr. are the same place.
Yeah, and you said if you order this burger, it's the same as the Baconator at
I
Carl's
don't think
Jr.
I ever said that.
I'm pretty sure it was you, but I might have brain damage.
I don't go to Carl's
You know,
Jr.
it happens.
I wouldn't
But
know what
someone
that
told
burger
me
is.
just order this at Carl's Jr. and it'll be the same. It was the worst, most greasy burger I ever had. It was horrible.
Sir.
Where I like the Hardee's Baconator. That was good. But this
The
one,
Wendy's
I
Baconator.
actually couldn't eat it. For me
Can
not
I
to eat
explain
stuff.
to you having a dog-sized cat that can open a door to try to attack your computer is not helpful to anything?
The cat is
He got-
huge.
He got debulbed. He was supposed to be better. He's still an a-hole. He's
Well, if
been
you
watching too
debulk
much
me, I
of
would
Karen
be
Reed.
an a-hole as well.
He's mad about Brennan too. That's the problem.
He's like, Brennan was my best friend. You over here disrespecting him. All right, no. I'm locking the door this time, sir.
And thank you,
Wow,
Squatty,
Bob.
being a member on
Appreciate
my
ya.
channel and on Valhalla's channel.
Outstanding. Appreciate it, Squad Bob.
Woohoo.
Welcome to Goat Herders. You get fun new emojis like Fluffy here. Oop, wrong button.
I love
There's
that you sound
Fluffy.
like me. Like I can be a professional somewhere.
Wrong button.
Well, that's like when
I
I
don't
explained
like
to my
speed.
mom, Sarah Boone, she's like, "So what do you do on your channel?" And my no filter brain decided to tell her about going to the liquor store and asking the attendant if she had a smaller bottle of Mad Dog 2020 because I wasn't sure if the big bottle was going to fit all the way in my bra with cheese slices. And then I realized that most people don't say these random things to liquor store attendants, but I realized she works at a liquor store, which is kind of like a confessional. So it can't be the weirdest thing she's ever heard. And I can fit a full bottle in. So
I was gonna say
Miracles
I think
happen.
you're gonna be okay. I think you're gonna be okay.
Can I just say that 15-minute break started 23 minutes ago?
That checks out. That
Yeah.
checks out.
Well, he has to cry more like he didn't get something at Hot Topic.
He had to file a new motion about
Emotional
communications.
distress by
Yeah.
the defense calling him out when he lied again.
He's
It's
got to
really
file
not
a
fair.
new motion to not get ARCA banned from the testimony.
Yeah, Mo will do Mad Dog 2020 races every night after court. She will have a limit only one boob-sized bottle per day. She
Y'all,
will.
I tried to. I took
She's gonna
3
make me
shots
kind
of
of look
Crown
like an
Royal.
amateur before these 10 weeks are over.
I'm going to be a professional drinker. I'm going to be able
I'm
to
here
keep
for
up
it.
with it. No, I did a stream when I found out that my mother-in-law had passed and I was going to do like a little honorary. I took 3 shots and about 30 minutes later I was like, "Guys, I'm going to bed." Just ended the stream. Like I think I'm being even more honest than I normally am. I'm going to bed. And Mr. Mo comes up and he's trying to talk to me and I'm like, "You look so funny. You talk like a Muppet. I love it. I'm so glad I married you." He's like, "You weren't."
Outstanding.
Okay.
Oh, we're back. Guess who's back? Back again. Bev is back. Hello, friend.
All right, so the first thing I viewed the clip. Is this only 15 seconds? Did I see everything you intend to use?
I expect that's only 15 seconds.
Okay.
15
Was
seconds
there
is
any
a long
objection
time.
to what you saw?
No objection.
Okay, thank you.
I would say that's only the audio. There's a visual that goes with it, but because it comes from a broadcast, we have to copy it differently.
Okay.
That's the audio, but there will be the visual with it. That was.
Oh, so they had
Okay.
to invert
I was
it.
able
Good. No
see.
copyright.
Okay. All right. Were you as well, Ms. Little?
Yes, we were able to see the video and we have no objection. And I did also provide, there's only a single photograph we intend to display. It will be an admitted exhibit. I provided a copy to council. I will also send that to the court as well.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'll hear you on this motion. Ms. Little, I'll hear your response to the Commonwealth's motion.
So during the break, we had an opportunity to discuss this issue with the Commonwealth.
Okay.
I believe we are in agreement on most of the issues.
Okay,
They have agreed that we are allowed to bring in the sustained findings as they relate to Trooper Proctor, Trooper Buchnick, Detective Lieutenant Tully.
okay,
The only issue that we need to work out, Your Honor, is with regard to Kevin Albert. And so we will continue to discuss that. I'm not as concerned in terms of
About the
timing with
fight?
that particular issue.
okay.
If the court will give us, another day or two to discuss with the
Sure.
Commonwealth, if there's a remaining issue, we can address that promptly with the court.
Okay, can we address, is it something you need for your opening?
It's not.
It's
Okay, all right, so yes, we'll address it sometime next Tuesday or Wednesday. Take your time in working it out.
Yeah,
all right?
I like her. I really-
Okay,
yeah.
so now is the only thing left, the motion that Mr.
Yeah, the findings in that report was well, it was just a joke that he lost his pew, even though he wrote that. Did I forget it in your car? Can you drop it in my mailbox? That was just a joke. He lost 3 vacation days. It's okay. Why the hell didn't this guy get fired?
No, my cat. No, he's a Maine Coon, and I think he is related to Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. His badness level is about 73, but we're working on
Brado's
it.
here for?
Let's say to 8.
Okay. All right. Morning, Mr. Bradle.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Okay. So can you have that? All right, I probably have it here too. I have.
Who
one
is
too.
this?
This is
Eight is
All
lawyer.
right, I will
Lawyer.
hear you.
Okay.
Let me just ask, Commonwealth, you're moving to?
Bradle.
Sorry, you stay right there, Mr. Bradle. Mr. Brennan, you're asking for sequestration on all the witnesses other than the ones that have already been decided, right?
Bradle's gonna smack him.
I'm not sure I understand.
So there was already an order on who is exempt from the sequestration order, family members. We discussed, and there was an order on all of this.
Yes,
Are you asking that Aidan Kearney be sequestered?
I am. He's a named witness.
Okay. Does the Commonwealth intend to call him in your case in chief?
It depends on the development of the case. There are 2 issues that are important.
Your case in chief, buddy boy. You should know who you're going to call for your case in chief now. You just want Aiden on so you could keep him from reporting this case.
And we
This
all
is
know it.
Very,
This is slimy, and it should be struck down with a vengeance.
from outside looking in, it does look like, well, I don't know if I'm going to use him. It does look like I am just going to hold him to cripple sort of, information getting out. Again, this does not show a point of power. If you are so afraid that someone else's opinions can wreck your argument, it's just like Plevin. He didn't listen to anything you said because he is so afraid that you are going to show him something that's going to change his perspective, and that's going to be painful mentally.
I didn't say that.
Well,
Rewind the tape. Rewind the tape. Come on, rewind the tape. I didn't say that.
I did rewind the tape. I actually used closed captions. It was fun.
He's such an idiot.
One in case in chief is whether or not there's any development of third-party culprit. If there is, Mr. Kearney becomes a more important witness, and we'll have to assess that as the case progresses. The other is rebuttal. If the defense calls the defendant to the stand, then it is strong likelihood that we would call Mr. Kearney.
Listen to his tone.
Depends on the development
He sounds
of the
like a little
case.
kid.
There are 2 issues that
Yeah, but try listening to him. He was almost yelling before. Now he's been
Sequestered.
asked.
I am. He's a named witness.
Okay. Does the Commonwealth intend to call him in your case in chief?
It depends on the development of the case. There are 2 issues that are important. The one in case in chief is whether or not there's any development of third-party culprit. If there is,
He goes
Karen becomes a
first.
more important
How would
witness,
he?
And we'll have to assess that as the case progresses. The other is rebuttal. If the defense calls the defendant to the stand, then it is strong likelihood that we would call Mr. Kennedy.
Okay.
Those are two things that I can't anticipate at this time.
This is about the least forceful he had spoken for the last year he's been on the case. Well, maybe
He
if
had
she
this
can't see
tone-
through this and see this is against the press and against the First Amendment, and he's just on the witness list to make sure he doesn't talk.
This is the same tone he got after he lied to her and she got real mad when he came back and he was like, "Oh yeah, I misstated the it actually came from blah 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 blah." It's the same tone. He gets all boisterous and big dog until he knows he's doing something shady or should be about to get smacked down.
I'm waiting for Aiden's lawyer to come and drop the mic.
Oh, he's not afraid of it either. Bradel,
Well-
oh my God, he's gonna come out swinging. He hates
Yeah,
it.
but the kind of variable that we don't know is Bev. Bev has a very, very low tolerance for any defendant, not the state, getting boisterous. That tone that he used when he was whining about the discovery bordered on insubordinate and disrespectful in a courtroom. Now, I would run my courtroom with a spray bottle and I'd spray water just like I do the cats. That being said, that was borderline disrespectful.
Yeah.
Watch Bradel. He's great. I love him.
Okay. All right. Now I'll hear you, Mr. Bradel.
All right, thank you very much, Your Honor.
I love this
Judge,
guy.
we don't have an offer of proof. I'll try to argue in the interest of time, and I think I know where the court's going with this, based on the prosecutor's statements and the context. So with that understanding, Judge, I would just start by saying that, there's really no reason to beat around the bush here, Your Honor. The Commonwealth is not going to call my client, Mr. Carney, who for the record is in the second row here today.
Can I just ask, if he were to call your client, would he take the fifth?
Yes, Judge, and I just should clarify for that.
Okay.
That is under the government's, the obviously well-established position of Norfolk County law enforcement. What we contend is a twisted interpretation of the witness intimidation statute, that seeking to contact witnesses, seeking to question people is witness
Okay.
intimidation.
So just focus back on.
So the answer is yes. I'm sorry. The answer is yes, Judge.
Okay.
And this will now been taken out of context where Plevin, Twisted Tragedy, Krusty Panties, and Doink will all say, see, he's pleading the fifth because him and Karen Reed was collaborating to attack witnesses. No, that's not what he said. Just so you can clip this out and send it to them, because what he just said is because the stupid law in Massachusetts that's overly broad and very discriminatory against journalists, he didn't even have to harass them. Just contacting a witness or implying a witness should change their statement because they're lying is witness harassment according to Massachusetts law. So every time all of you idiots say Karen Reed should just admit and take a plea deal, you are actually borderline doing witness harassment, because she is a witness in her own case. Well, she's a potential witness. Even though she doesn't take the stand, she will be a witness in her own case. So all of you a-holes should be held to exactly the same standard as Mr. Carney, but none of you will. Why? Because this is Canton, bitch.
So let me hear from you on that, Mr. Brennan.
Sure. Your Honor, under the government's interpretation of this statute, Your Honor, the government is seeking to first.
No, I'm sorry. What I said was, I'll hear you, Mr. Brennan. And you
Oh, I'm sorry.
But that's okay. I don't want to hear about the witness intimidation statute, other than if I don't sequester your client, I would be inclined to do just like I did before. The witnesses who are the subject of the indictments, Mr. Kearney will have to be outside the courtroom when they testify.
We anticipated that, Your Honor, and I won't say that we would agree to that, but I understand the court's position there, and I can see that would be resolution the court might land on.
Okay, now I'm going to let Mr. Brennan speak, and then I'll hear you again, Mr. Bradel.
Thank you.
Doesn't look so confident now.
Your Honor, you have questions?
Yes.
Because he knows he's
What if
wrong.
he takes the fifth?
If he asserts his Fifth Amendment privilege, I think there is no realistic likelihood that we would call him. There's obviously procedures the Commonwealth could follow, but I have no belief that will happen. So I expect if he actually asserts his Fifth Amendment privilege, I would no longer have a good faith basis to say that there would be a need for sequestration. I would ask the court to impose the prior limitations with named victims and also minor witnesses.
Okay.
But I
And
would, as a predicate, he would need to assert his fifth.
do you need that to be done formally, or do
Yes.
you want it to be done formally?
I do.
Mr. Bradel?
And then you're going to use it and say, well, we wanted to interview Aidan Carney, who has been working with Karen Reed, but he pled the fifth.
They can't do that though. You can't hold the pleading of the fifth as someone's guilt or anything. You can't comment it on it at all. Like it's a constitutional right.
And I hope
Yeah,
she will tell him that means your little mouth is about him now.
Yep. I doubt it though. I doubt it.
I doubt it.
I doubt
Bradel,
it.
do you want to do that now?
Judge, I'm happy to assert that on his behalf.
We'd reject that invitation. If he wants to assert the Fifth Amendment
Of
privilege,
course
he
you
can
would.
assert it.
Okay.
Of course
You
you
want
would.
to call him now and do that now, Mr. Bradel?
Do
Or
it.
not? You want to talk with your client and
Do it.
sure. Why
Do
don't
it
you know what, I'll give you
now.
more than a minute, Mr. Bradel. Can the staff work through lunch for a little bit?
Of course, this asshat wants him to take the stand. So he,
course.
remember, this guy is so concerned that all of us social media types are doing what we're doing because we're hurting his case. What is he doing now? He is doing a clip that is going on TV tonight that award-winning local journalist pleads the fifth in the Karen Reed case. Why did he do that? He has been accused of colluding with Karen Reed to intimidate witnesses, even though even a grand jury didn't find there was anything to raise a case over. And now, right now, I can bet you on TwitSweat, Krusty Pandies,
They're going nuts.
Kim Fair, Doink the Clown, Betterow, Smetterow, whatever his idiot name is, that weird guy in Dutchland, Plevin, I don't know if I said him.
You didn't know.
All of these people they're guilty.
Who's
Every one
Crusty
of them.
Panties?
Kate
Oof.
Peters, a Sasquatch-looking woman.
Oh,
She was
people at
working
Walmart.
for Aiden before something arose. He called her out. Since then, she turned absolutely against Karen Reed because she hates Aiden. She's the one who is running the entire anti-Karen Reed racket. She's one of the Camel Toe 5 who showed up with that Daisy Dukes hiked so hard up.
I remember that. The cottage. Look, ma'ams, look, I have cellulite too. And that's only for my husband. So maybe don't share it with everyone because look, just because you can get into a size 5, the muffin top says size 14, okay? Sweetheart, just admit it.
I remember when Judge Schroeder was very, very tempted to call mistrial and admonished the heck out of Binger when he commented on Rittenhouse pleading the fifth and not wanting to testify. I do too, T-Rex. And I can see Brennan doing it.
Oh, yeah.
And trying to imply, and he will go on whatever show who will have her on court TV. That I know I said yesterday we should be nice, but I just can't stand that Julie chick on court TV. She is everything that's wrong in reporting. But he will go on her show and say, well, no one pleads the fifth for no reason. Well, why did all of your witnesses get a lawyer? Well, there's nothing wrong in getting a lawyer, but you claim that it's an admission of guilt to get a lawyer when Karen Reed did it. That's something different. I hate this guy.
He's the best gaslighter I've ever seen. Even like, well, Never mind. But he's professional level gaslighting. Professional.
I'm a bit of a dummy. What's the purpose of Turtle Boy pleading the fifth? Turtle Boy is accused of conspiring. That's not what he's accused of. He's
Witness intimidation.
He has a case for witness intimidation. So Brennan wants him to go up there and testify if him and Karen had an agreement that he should contact any of the witnesses. If he says yes, we did, or no, I just contacted it on my own, he could potentially be liable in his own case. So by pleading the fifth, he doesn't carry it because they can use this statement in his own case against him. That's why he would plead the fifth in this case. And I love that all the knuckleheads said,
and he should.
He said he would testify and go in front of Brennan. Yeah. If his own case had been done, I probably would too. But I'm always looking out for number one.
Yeah. Yeah. He gets up there and then they can use whatever he says against him in a bogus witness intimidation case. That's a very obvious plead the fifth situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, this holding the witness thing, it just indicates a weak case. And this is an outsider. I haven't been in the Karen Read, sphere. But you have the facts, you pound the facts. This man has acted like a 14-year-old who didn't get to get, a Limp Bizkit t-shirt at Hot Topic. And he's like, but Mom, everyone else has a Limp Bizkit and Converse, and I'm going to look stupid. And it is. It's like a whiny teenager. You're an adult. You're a professional. Act like it.
He's getting paid $300,000 on top of it all.
Holy crap balls.
Yeah.
I need
so
to
next
pretend
time you hit a pothole or your kid can't get daycare or something else, just remember they took care of Brennan.
Yeah, remember when you can't get your snow plowed because they've taken all the budget.
Yeah. It's I hate this case. And again, I'll give you 10 minutes. That was only 11 minutes ago.
Not too bad.
We are cooking now.
JKD Buck, I agree. That was oddly specific. So my guess is either this was an event that took place when Mo was 14 or one of her 14-year-olds.
Actually, I saw it when I was in Hot Topic. I was going there looking for Sailor Moon, and I found like a little doodad, and I paid for it. And the little chick in there had all the gauges and all the, earrings and stuff. And she's like, would you like to do a survey about our store? And I was like, sweetheart, I am more in like the get off my lawn sort of stage of life. So it's too loud and it's too annoying in here. So I wouldn't give you a real good survey, but I know I'm not the target audience. And she just glazed over, and I was like, damn it, why do I keep saying things? She was like, okay, do you want to get a credit card here? I was like, no.
Oh God.
Why would anyone?
Terrible, Mo. Terrible. Spencer's, Gregory. That's Spencer's.
No, Brandon.
I didn't.
He claimed that he had some injuries to his legs, but apparently that was more granular.
Well, yeah. I mean, always stretch. Always stretch.
That's the free implants. You don't want a Hot Topics credit card?
That's the last thing. Oh God, no. Oh, decent recovery.
Look, they invented online shopping for a reason. I don't even have to go in the store now.
That's actually probably pretty good for Hot Topic.
It's just so loud, and there's always like teens just standing in there confused and dazed, and I'm like, I am in here for a mission. I'm on Sailor Moon. I want to get out of here. It's too noisy, too people-y. It's like people go into the mall with no actual like mission. I'm such a dude. I'm like, let's get in, get out, and go home. Allegedly in Minecraft.
You know what they say, Mo? If it's too loud, you're too old.
Look, I was
think it's
born
official.
473. I was born like telling my kids or telling other kids like that's dangerous. We're going to end up in the ER. So I have been ready for like yelling at small children leaving frisbees on my lawn. I have been training for this my entire life. I'm just waiting for the age when I'm 80 and I get to wear a sequins like jumpsuit or like sweatsuit and I get to tell people everything I think, no matter how mean, and they just think I'm a cute, sweet old lady. So I'm just going to tell everyone about themselves like, oh, sweetie, you look good, but, you know, put down the cheesecake. It's not an answer to everything. And people are going to be like, oh, she's still full of piss and vinegars. Bless her heart. Yes, I have plotted this out. Baker, you look very annoyed. Are you looking at X?
I'm just trying to get some updates.
Oh, cool beans.
I just, you know, you have to see what all the other people are yelling.
I almost wonder if Brennan didn't think Turtle Boy would make it to court.
Well,
It does
Bradle
seem
would
like
have been there anyway, I think.
But
Oh
he
no, I'm
wouldn't
not
be able
starting a Twitter
to.
war.
But he wouldn't have been able to, you know, claim
I'll plead the fifth
on the spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but she would have allowed his, because his attorney can enter that statement on his behalf. So
she didn't let him just do it. She wants him to do it.
no, she asked Brennan if he had to do it, and he said, "I want that." Why was he?
Because he knows.
Maybe
he's getting his
maybe you're
ass
right.
kicked.
He didn't expect.
I don't think he did.
That's why he turned. It was kind of like when they did the mob walk in for the last hearing, where he tried to anal intercourse them by filing under the Karen Reed number and not calling Karen Reed. He looked kind of like this with, oh yeah, I got caught.
Turtle Boy. I think Turtle Boy is just onto his game, right? Turtle Boy is like, all right, man. If you're gonna make me jump through hoops, I'm gonna make you pay for it, kind of thing.
Well, the problem is the backfire. Yes, he might get a clip that says I plead the fifth, but you don't think that a bunch of people who have already thought that this trial was completely shady aren't going to look at this and say, okay, so the one guy who's been reporting on this consistently, whether you like his reporting style or not, has been silenced. Again, it just goes to, if you don't want sunlight on it, what are you hiding? And
Well, that would have been my bad. Go ahead.
it's just optically it could backfire. This is giving ammunition to all the free Karen Reed people, and you know, whatever victory they have, it's going to increase the other side, I think, and give validity to
This would have been if timed right, it would have been a useful tool, right? And if Turtle Boy hadn't been there, he could have timed it better, right? It could have been the day before trial, big breaking news, Turtle Boy pleads the fifth. It's too early now. It's a whole week out now. By the time it all gets out in the media and then everybody explains that that's not how you, like, it's the Fifth Amendment. You can't really blame him for anything. It's the Fifth Amendment. It's going to be old news. I think that's what he's all upset about.
You are
Greg
probably
says this has
right.
been a really bad day for Brennan. Even the judge has been pushing back on him today. She sighed a lot with him today, and I missed something. No, I didn't. Tim became a member. Thank you,
Nice,
Tim.
Nice.
There's some who call me Tim. Those who like Monty Python know who that is.
And some people call me Maurice. People that like
no.
rock know that
What?
one. Wow.
I'm Tim the Sorcerer. There are people who call me Tim. And someone asked, I think it was T-Rex who asked, can they call the defendant? No. She will always have the right not to take the stand, and they can't because it'll prejudice against her.
Hi, Mr. Brennan, do you agree that
Thank
Mr.
you, Tim.
Canning has
Appreciate
a
you.
Fifth Amendment right?
I think he has a Fifth Amendment privilege. I don't know that he has a Fifth Amendment privilege to
Privilege.
all questions we would ask, but the content that we would go into, I think he clearly would have a Fifth Amendment privilege.
All right, so you're not asking for a limited hearing.
I'm not. I think I necessarily would have to delve into issues regarding his open indictments against a number of different victims.
Okay.
And I think there's other information that I can't discuss for other reasons because of court orders.
Okay. All
Oh,
right. Thank
damn,
you.
doesn't it
would
suck when
suggest
the
that the
court
court could
stops you from doing shady shit?
So the Commonwealth concedes, and I believe there's a valid Fifth Amendment right. So
I ask that you just allow me to make the representation on behalf of Mr. Carney that he would in fact invoke his Fifth Amendment privilege. Commonwealth agrees to it. I ask that you just allow me to make the representation and leave it there.
Oh, sure. Is there any objection for everybody hearing this?
Yeah, there was
I
before.
would like Kearney to assert his fifth. I
Oh,
want to make the record.
I thought you wanted a basis. No, I'm going to see Mr. Kearney here at sidebar with just you, Mr. Bradel.
Thank
And
you.
all recording devices are off.
Thank you.
FTR goes to,
You get the super. You just wanted that soundbite, you fucking moron. How about pleading the 21st? I don't know what the 21st Amendment. Did I say something bad?
No, I was just thinking the 21st is, I think, the amendment that you get to drink when you're 18 or no. Look, I'm not smart. It's been a couple years since I read the Constitution and the Bill of Rights.
sealed, Tori and Chrissy.
Did anyone see that all their filings they did, I think yesterday, had the wrong year?
Oh, for the
The
love of
21st was repealing of alcohol, the making alcohol legal again, repealing the,
Oh, the best amendment.
yeah.
Well, there's also that one with the slavery thing. That's pretty high up there
Well,
too.
I mean, after the whole human rights thing, booze is important.
Is it the 18th that some people don't like?
The
It's the 19th.
The 19th. Women's right to vote. Yeah, we don't really need that, y'all. We don't need the 19th.
My opinion is we didn't take we took the privileges, but we didn't take the duties. I don't like that. If I want to be treated as an equal person and seen as an equal person, then I should have some of the duties and some of the responsibilities as a
Tori,
citizen that
Jim.
men have.
Yes.
I don't want to. It doesn't mean they have to be the same, but there should be a civil service. There should be something.
All right, so Mr. Brennan, I've just had a colloquy with Mr. Carney, with his lawyer present, obviously. I find, and the Commonwealth concedes, that he does have a valid Fifth Amendment right. I find that there's a valid basis for him to invoke that Fifth Amendment privilege. And I find that if he were called to testify, he would in fact invoke that Fifth Amendment privilege. So based on that, he will be exempt from the sequestration order, except as to, and I need a
Good.
list of the named witnesses who are the alleged victims in the current indictments.
Good.
I accept those findings. We'll provide the court with a list of the named victims. We also would like to have the court consider the two minors in that list.
Oh, yes, I think I did that last time as well.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
All right, so is that it for today?
Judge, if I may, just for the record, maintain the same objection I had at the last trial. Don't need to make any
Oh,
further commentary
sure.
on it, just in case there's any further action, which I don't anticipate right now.
Okay.
But just for the record, thank you.
Okay. All right, so we're all set until Tuesday, I believe. I'll get
Thank you.
orders out. Oh, stipulations were just given to me. I have not had a chance to read them. All right, this looks like you all made some progress in a way that where the jury will be happy that you've cut down the amount of time that they may be here otherwise. Okay.
Marissa nailed it.
Anything else today?
The only thing I would ask the court to
Nailed it.
consider is with regard to the
He actually did that at the last hearing, so I don't think he was sequestered doing that.
speaker, the reader issue.
Oh, okay.
If the Commonwealth intends to go forward with that, I would ask that that be put in a formal motion so we have something to respond to. I think research on that is in order.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Doesn't have to be lengthy
And it is something that we've done.
right, understood. I would like to see I'm going to have to look at what the law in Massachusetts is concerning that and what the sort of parameters are.
Okay.
I just think because of the potential prejudicial effect on Ms. Reed, I'd like to have something in writing. That's all.
It is in the extrajudicial motion. If there's something separate the court wants briefed, we're happy to do it, but it's already in the motion that we provided regarding extrajudicial statements.
Okay. All right. Thank you all. We'll see you Tuesday.
Thank you.
All right, to the court, please. So Mo, your first live viewing of Special Protector Brennan. What was your takeaway? Is he better than Lally, or will you miss Lally? What, if any, missing will you have of Lally?
He's not as emotionally out. So Lally was like watching beige paint dry in a beige room. He was very unanimated. The only thing he did was get a little redder. This guy is all over the place. I don't like him. Again, match energies. He is always on 11, an attack, and it just, again, showed over emotion. If you have the facts, you'll say, look, of these 13 items, I haven't gotten 6, 8, and 9. I need those. Instead, he was like, well, like, they just haven't given me like any stuff. And I would assume if you're bitching about something, you would know the GD number.
Yeah, he never has anything. Oh, and I have to say, I just looked at Rumble. Thank you, Anime Rumpy, for gifting 2 subscriptions on Rumble. It doesn't show up in StreamYard because Rumble and StreamYard goes together like oil and water and don't mix a lot.
True.
Val, your takeaway from today?
I am honestly a little maybe taken aback by some of Bev's reactions today. I think Brennan just kind of got his butt kicked all day, and it's very strange. I'm not used to that out of Canton.
No, she didn't roll over. Is it a new Bev? I would. No. I will hold my judgment on that. I still think it'll be Hölle when we start up Tuesday next week, because she is a horrible person, and but I like that slimy weasel got punched back sometimes today. Did she rule on anything but Turtle Boy? Yes, she ruled on testimony about dogs. They are not allowed. She would think about it, but she did indicate that you can't use any evidence saying Chloe didn't leave those marks, because there's no way to tell that it was Chloe or not Chloe. And he was standing there saying, well, clearly you can exclude. If you can't include, you can then use it to exclude. No, it's the same thing you do. Including and excluding is saying this specific dog made these marks, or this specific dog didn't make these marks. So it's the same drill. It's just the opposite result you're looking for. But that she ruled on that one and then went back home. What's the outcome of all the motions? Aiden pled the 5th, and he couldn't use the dog bites. The rest, we'll figure it out sometime.
I think she's catching on to Brennan's nonsense a little bit more. I don't know if she always knew, but I think she's understanding that Brennan's doing.
And thank you so much, Unbalanced Equation.
Yeah, everyone, please go. I think I put the links in my description to my lovely co-hostess, who will be here to be my emotional pet animals when I have to sit through 10 weeks of Brennan. Well, I will take a week where Valhalla will pet me in real life. He will cradle me like he did last year, rub me gently, and say, "It's okay, you'll survive."
Oh, and I get to see it this time. It'll be great.
Heck yeah, you're gonna be there too. I totally forgot you're coming to Dollywood.
I know. I need to do all the
streaming?
planning. And then.
Did anyone talk to Marissa about that? Because I didn't.
I've been telling everybody Marissa's got her back.
Oh.
Yeah, Marissa's got us while we're in Dollywood. She's got us for that week. No worries, y'all. We'll make it happen.
Oh,
I'll just say that Plevin and Krusty Panties are dual streaming, and they have more viewers than we have. They have 200 people more watching.
Wow. That checks
well,
out.
his head is really shiny.
Yeah.
Women get
and,
distracted by shiny things, especially the hillbilly women like me. Like, put me near a bass boat, I'm just looking at glitter.
When is
When is
Dollywood?
Dollywood?
Dollywood is
June
the
4th,
June
5th, and
4th.
6th.
Yep.
4th, 5th, and 6th. The 4th, we will be doing extracurricular activities, shall we say. We'll find something fun to do and meet up, and there'll probably be alcohol involved. Let's be real. Thursday, we're going to spend all day at the park. Get your day pass. We meet, I think, at 11 at the bakery off the top of my head. It's in a video that everybody has.
we'll meet at 11. I didn't
At
download
11,
it because
and
I have
then-
to. She sent it in a format that I will have to.
Oh. And then Friday, we're going to do a live FNL. So hang out. We're going to do FNL in person. And I think the main goal this year is to have better sound than last year. Because
So we will just be somewhere where we can see a microphone and don't have people take the microphone all the time. Maybe have a corded internet connection this time, so it doesn't lose signal every 5 seconds.
We'll see.
Or maybe not. Maybe we'll just sit there and do like last year and see Kaiser Pineapple molest a bottle of Malort. But who has the best chat family? You do, Baker. Mo.
Everyone has. We share family. We're like a family reunion over here. We're dating. We're meeting up. We're finding new in-laws.
Whoa.
I live in Indiana. I understand reality. There are some people in my Walmart that evolution doesn't pass them by. Okay.
T-Rex, why do you dislike the idea of micro wrestling?
Ricada and Marissa.
perhaps
Yeah,
make
Ricada
you
is
feel warm
returning to
and fuzzy?
streaming
Soon.
Friday,
The
18th,
18th, I
of
think?
April.
Yeah.
18th, April 18th. Ricada will. Valhalla, can you get him and Marissa set up?
I doubt it, but I'll try.
Marissa is. She says, "I can't wait to be streaming with Ricada."
Her excitement overflows. I can tell.
No laughing, lady.
You know, from the weekend, she's like,
She's terrifying.
That should be
She
my
is.
sidebar. It's just be her.
yeah. Oh gosh. No, don't make Marissa quit.
No, we need her. Ah, damn. Hoop raid. Someone is getting raided.
Awesome possum.
I don't know who of us it is. It's not me. I can tell that because it's.
I don't think it's me. It didn't pop up.
I don't think it's me.
It's probably not.
Oh wait, no, it is me. It just
Dang
didn't pop
it.
up on time. Sorry.
Dang
Thank
it,
you,
Mo.
Mr. Coop. I never
But-
claimed to be good at this YouTube stuff.
Mo, you're kind of doing the getting acquainted with the case again. Short videos every day.
Yes.
I'm thinking that I might watch the closing arguments from case one, maybe one tomorrow, one Friday, because in Denmark, because of our Lord and Savior's troubles, we have the days off. So, you laugh, but he actually died on the cross for your sins. And I know you.
But
He,
why,
he
why am I
needed
getting
to have
singled
stayed on
out
that
here?
stake for a couple of days more.
Just for
to
you,
make sure-
Valhalla. The
I
rest
thought
of
it was
us were
kind of a
good.
universal aura of
Nope.
sin that he was going for here. Just me.
Just
Okay.
just Valhalla. He was
This
like
seems slightly unfair. I wasn't even alive yet, y'all. How dare you blame me for this?
it was that chapter they took out where he was like, "Damn you, Valhalla."
Yeah, everyone thought it was just.
He had a thing with Odin, but no, it was.
Yeah.
That was the whole reason he had to rest on the seventh day. He would have been fine. Oh, jeez.
Oh, Brandon is saying there's a pitiful like button shift. Please touch the buttons on the way out. Do all the YouTube things that you hate when we talk about, and come back again. I might be looking at closings tomorrow. Mo will be having her mornings with Mo, and she will do the what show
Well,
getting
so
ready.
if you're doing the closing, I might watch the closing with you just to get back on that. I do have at least 6 pages of notes that I'm going to condense to go over what happened today. It is interesting to have kind of no dog
6
in this
pages
fight.
of notes today?
Look,
Yikes.
I said I'm semi-autistic. I have like hypergraphia, but when I take notes, I can remember everything people say.
Is that sexually transmitted?
It sounded like it. I'm pretty
I think I got it from my parents, but I still claim I'm adopted.
I'm pretty sure I had to take penicillin for that once.
Life choices, Mo regret. Coming on stream today.
Well, you know, when are my streams not life crises? Seriously.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair.
And then I'll probably be looking at Lori Vallow in the evenings. We will be going on petty time, so I will be doing the openings sometime this week. Look, the heifer is ridiculous. We're going on petty time.
What is green bean enchiladas, and do I need them?
Green bean enchiladas? Oh, that sounds absolutely horrible.
She asked her
Is that
brother
a-
if he remembered that time she made him green bean enchiladas, and he said no, and she got
Oh,
upset.
green chili enchiladas.
That's a very different thing.
It looks the same.
Green
To be
chili
fair, it
enchiladas,
sounds-
edible.
Yeah. The green beans, I was like, what in the Mormon?
What in the
Well, she
Mormon?
was a celestial, so
Oh, question, people. If I do a Lori Vallow thing and I dress her up as a Mighty Morphin Mormon, is that too offensive? Asking for
No.
a friend.
No. Lori Vallow? No. You can get away with pretty much anything with that one.
And Broke Baker. Hells yes.
When people do horrible enough things, you can get away with a lot when you make fun of them. I've found this.
I just need to learn photo. Like I said, I'm the idea person. I just need like a techie person that does all the clicky things. And then I'm like, okay, I need Lori Vallow as the Pink Ranger. And he's like, "Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, Harry Potter magic, you know, a little bit of Neo from the Matrix. And he's like, badam. That's what and he can work for Hot Pockets. I'd even get name brand. I wouldn't get great value.
The actual ham and cheese, not the Canadian
Hells yes,
bacon
I'm willing to
substitute.
pay. I'm willing to pay. I'm willing to get, you know, absolutely Hot Pocket on brand. My kids will be like, they make great value Hot Pockets too? And I'll be like, yes, they do. It's amazing.
just before we leave, I will give you legal updates from the smartest people on the interwebs.
Ooh, smart
Doink the Clown
people.
just in. Karen Reed trial prosecutor Hank Brennan is trying to turtle walk Aiden Turtle Boy Carney to take the stand to plead the fifth. Personally, at today's final motion hearing before Reed's retrial for the death of John O'Keefe begins next Tuesday. 10 minutes recess. Oh well. Karen Reed trial final motion hearing delayed until that's an old one that doesn't have to do with that. Fireworks at today's final Karen Reed and John O'Keefe hearing before retrial begins next Tuesday. Hank Brennan is unloading on Reed's defense for attempting to engage in trial by ambush by hiding, to this day, information in the hands of Reed's experts. Brennan is furious. Brennan asked Judge Canone, who has already found Reed's lawyers materially misled the court as to their contacts with and payments to ARCA during their first trial for Reed as to John O'Keefe's death, to order ARCA to bring documents with them in the lead up to the mid-trial voir dire. Yes, I read it with all the punctuations that was in there. Brennan feels only an order from Judge Cannoni will result in compliance by ARCA with the requirement to disclose those documents, and that the Reed's defense is attempting to engage in trial by ambush by hiding those very materials. So he just said it twice. And now another legal mind of the highest order in Massachusetts. We love Jemima. She's in Massachusetts. She went to law school, but she is nowhere near this legal level of competence. As an addendum, no witness in the Karen Reed trial has pled the fifth. Not Jen McCabe, not Brian Albert, not Brian Higgins, not Michael Proctor. Only Aiden Carney. He is the only one. And the only one that the Commonwealth has shit charges against. Hank Brennan is going to make sure that Turtle Boy's bitch ass has to stand up and plead the fifth to get out of testifying against Karen Reed. Side note, Fifth Amendment is the right against self-incrimination. If there's no chance of criminal incrimination, one cannot plead. And again, because the Commonwealth has stupid charges against Turtle Boy. And by the way,
also not entirely true.
Well,
you can plead the fifth. You can plead the fifth if your spouse may potentially face criminal charges as well.
That's a spousal privilege. That's a different privilege. But
no, it's the Fifth Amendment.
Yeah, but it's a different privilege you're pleading. You're not pleading against self-incrimination. You're pleading against on spousal privilege. And you can actually, I think they can force you to testify, but I'm not sure. I'll have to ask
Damn it, I have to
my
stop confessing
lawyer
to Mr.
expert.
Mo.
Mo, can you plead?
Here's what the Fifth Amendment reads. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless... Jesus Christ. I lost my spot. Unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except as in case arising in the land or naval forces, or is the militia, when in actual service in time of war or public danger, nor shall any person be subject for the... Man, these words are so small. For the same... I really need glasses. For the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without the process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation.
See, didn't say wife. It's spousal privilege.
I'm actually pretty impressed by that.
It wasn't he who said BS. It was Krusty Panties, the biggest legal mind in Massachusetts. Jemima might have to go turn in her bar certificate and say, I know this lady who has a restraining order against her, who has multiple cases pending, and she's way smarter than I am. She knows the law. I actually think she's not allowed to talk about Turtle Boy because of her restraining order, which could be seen as witness intimidation under the Massachusetts witness intimidation statute. Isn't it wonderful how people are not being charged equally?
Well, I have noticed in the Karen Reed is guilty case, there is a big focus on Turtle Boy.
Yeah.
To the point that there is an assumption that anyone who doesn't believe the state proved their case must be an acolyte of Turtle Boy. Honest to God, I don't watch Turtle Boy. I don't know him.
That's what all Turtle Boys fans say.
Oh, right. I've got card carrying member of the, Turtle Boy. I fooled you.
I like turtles.
To be fair, the absurdity that we're talking about a man named Turtle Boy in a retrial where the state failed to prove anything, everyone was drunk, and they talked about balloon knots. This is about the level of cringe-larious that I am here for. When you really boil it down.
The first two things I read was by our friend Doink.
Pay attention, T-Rex. God.
Yeah. Everyone, this has been wonderful. I will give my friends a chance to grift the heck out of themselves And then I'm going to go make myself some pizza because I deserved it. And I thought we would be done way before 7:30. So I'm going to have a late dinner.
Hey guys, I'm Mo from Mo in the Deep End. I do Mornings with Mo. It's a mix of headlines, true crime, and the absurdity that you can only find on the internet if you're me. It's about an hour to 45 minutes. It's going to be before the case, so it's 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I'm against daylight time. I also do the Petty Express. We watch trials, we skip forward, and we make fun of people, but we try to respect the victims, and we generally have information about the case. I'm getting ready to do a murder board video of the Linda Sturmer case and my final thoughts of that. So check that out. If you like snark, I am your snarky Sailor Scout of, sarcasm.
I dig it. What up, y'all? I am Valhalla Awaits, and alongside my man Baker and Mo, we are obviously going to cover the Karen Reed trial. But more importantly, I actively have a 24/7 goat cam in operation. There's a nursing stall in my barn with a brand new baby and a month-old baby. We got a baby on Monday, I think, is the most recent, and three more pregnant moms to go. So there's that live cam. Go check it out. Saturday, the 26th of this month, I believe we have Rosalind Duke on for a Lego stream, Law, Lego, Life, and Libations, to stream that me and Dave do, and it's a good time. You should come check that out.
And probably tomorrow, Lally's closing arguments. It's an hour long. If I get on it and if Mo will join me, it'll probably be somewhere between 7,000 and 10,000 hours when we are yelling at the screen. But it's going to be a good time. And I'm the Broken Baker, and I'm hungry.
Again, in that picture, there are the red pieces. There are some of it still there. So it's cracked and missing. In a state of shock, that was my description.
I'll allow it.
Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that at her...
Do you remember it or do you not, Ms. McCabe? That's a simple question.
That morning, I don't remember specifically what I Googled, but I do know what you've put out to the social media.
How about this? So according to you, it was a butt dial that went to his phone. It somehow lasted 1 second. Get cut and dry. Pretty simple. Just pin it on the girl, right? Pretty simple. Just pin it on the girl, right?
Objection.
Pretty simple.